Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see, it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown, I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense. But it makes
yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes! I look and see, it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see, it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We step, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We step, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Living wild. Yay!
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah!
Yay!
Was there a moment in your career then you made a leap to like a check that was like, holy shit, this is like a life-changing?
There's a couple of moments like that. So when I signed for WWE, I actually took a pay cut because it's like, okay, you're signing for WWE. It's like the opportunity to make money. Right after I left the independents kind of blew up where guys were suddenly making six figures who were like just starting to make good names for themselves.
Wow.
So I think my last year on the independents, I made somewhere around 100,000 and I signed my first WWE contract for 39,000.
Yeah, because they're
it's just, it's developmental now, but then eventually you'll make good money, which is what happened. So within about 8 months, which is unheard of at the time, because they usually take 2 or 3 years before they start sending you to do stuff. But then that first check came in for that road loop and I opened it and it was like 6 or 7 grand or something. And I had this like light bulb moment, like, oh my God, that's right. I'm here to make money. Money has always been such a, like, it's so not why I do this. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy having it versus not having it.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
綺麗な空気。体には細長が気持ちいいんです。日立のビッグフロー、ウェルネス。日立フレア。
Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT live show. I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks, and we're here. We made it through. It's another week. I hope you guys have been having a good week. It's middle of the week, so we're in the tail end. And it's Wacko Wednesday. I'm excited. We have the Continental Classic is beginning here in AEW. Becky Lynch exposed people who exposed themselves to other people who tried to bury her. Vince Russo shoots on Cornette and Bischoff, and all of these folks and WWE versus AEW and tons of stuff that happened today. We're going to go through all of that plus more. Welcome to the show. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for you guys being here. As everyone files in. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're not. If you're on the Times channel, hopefully you got the notification telling you to come over to the Clips channel for the live show. And make sure you check out Patreon as well, because if anything gets clipped out of this, it will be on the Patreon show. Make sure, guys, if you want to support this show, you can super chat in or become a member. It's only 99 cents, and you get access to Monday bonus shows. On Monday's bonus show, we talked a bunch about we do Member Monday, and we did Miscellaneous Monday as well, and we talked about all the stuff Bret Hart said about HBK and Vince McMahon and that interview he did, so you're going to want to check that out for sure. I do a weekly bonus show for members and patrons, so make sure you guys sign up for that and check out Patreon as well. Those are my plugs. Thank you all for being here as people file in. We have lots going on, man. Lots of Becky Lynch news, lots of Vince Russo news, the Continental Classic. I don't know who's excited for this, but I want to run through the participants before AEW Dynamite actually goes on the air. And so let's get into stuff. AEW, the Continental Classic, it goes down tonight. Kyle Fletcher's taking on Okada. And this is this Gold League or one Blue League, two Gold League matches? So Fletcher and Okada are wrestling each other. And then we have Darby Allin versus Kevin Knight. And then we have Moxley versus Dorada. And then we have the Ops are all together. The Ops celebrate the AEW World Championships. You know there's going to be a bunch of bullshit there. And then the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament semifinal is going down, and after all the women wrestled to pick a stipulation or whatever the fuck. So again, not a lot of interest in this show. People aren't hyped for this shit. Dave Meltzer will be lubed up watching this 100%. And Tony Khan's trying to do something to pique interest here a little bit. Speaking of the Continental Classic, ladies and gentlemen, all at the same time together now. Ichi ni sada, because we're jumping right into AEW news, okay? So the Continental Classic is on today, and it begins today, and they announced all of the leagues here, or both sides. So in the Blue League, we have Konosuke Takeshita, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Mascara Dorada, and then the Gold League, Darby Allin, Pac, Kevin Knight, Mike Bailey, Fletcher, Okada. I just don't think people care about this at all. Is this a thing people care about still? Did anybody really ever care about it? Okada's in the tournament, but he's the unified champ, but the Continental Classic is for the Continental title, which is actually merged with another title now, but not technically merged because Tony Khan's a fucking mark. I don't know. Nothing about this makes me go, oh my God. And then it's like Darby versus Pac. Is that really the match? Or are these names? Yeah, I don't know if that's an officially announced match, but obviously we're going to see it. And it's like, what are the odds? What are the odds that tag team and Fletcher and Okada and who are in the Callis family and Fletcher sort of turning babyface on the Callis family and Darby and Pac are all in the same league, and they had beef like the other day, Flaming Tables pay-per-view match at Full Gear. It's continuing just so happenstance in this Gold League as well. I don't know, man. Just tell fucking stories. And then just a mark like, well, we know we're going to get Kevin Knight versus Mike Bailey eventually. And then on the other side, you have Moxley, Castagnoli. I think it's pretty clear they're going to build to Takeshita Okada at the end of this thing again. Right? And then Strong and Moxley, and Paragon's been beefing with the Death Riders and the conglomerate. And so, of course, Cassidy's on that side, and then they had to throw a CMLL guy in there. So I just see through it. You just see how elementary and how thrown together this shit is, and how it's just like surface level ideas that can easily just be like, that's how you come to this conclusion of who to put on what block. At least in my opinion, nobody's like, holy fuck, man, the Continental Classic, who's going to be in it this year? Maybe no one's talking like that. And then you see the matches and you're like, okay, so just the key guys Tony's running with, and I'll give him credit. And I've said this the whole time. He needs to just pick a core group of guys. You do see the core guys on Dynamite every week and shit. I'll give him credit for that, but I just don't know if he's picked the right ones. And I'm honestly surprised Daniel Garcia isn't in this fucking thing, and Wheeler Yuta, the way they've been being used. But yeah, I'm willing to bet that those two become like tag champs down the line or something. You know what I mean? So moving along here, we have lots of AEW news, and Full Gear went down, and there was some fallout from Full Gear. And Jim Cornette, we talk about his beef with Vince Russo, but the reason I made sure Jim Cornette's name was in the title of this live stream is because he also went off on Ricochet. I just didn't know what to go with. But Vince Russo, like, I just looked on Twitter, and that's everyone was sharing the clips of him, and I'm like, okay, it happened today. We'll fucking throw. So Jim Cornette, though, is he goes off on Ricochet as well, which I can't wait to get into. But post Full Gear, I may have said Collision, but post Full Gear, people had comments, and one of the people who had comments, of course, was the best guy, Tony Khan, who was here with Mark Briscoe answering some questions. This Drain manager, who I'm pretty sure is confirmed from India. Okay, is that confirmed that this account is actually like an India bot?
Best guys, Tony Khan.
A bunch of these sicko accounts, a bunch of, like, I'm sure wacko accounts as well, are being exposed as just like Discord drivers. Like, it's just bot activity. It's what we've been saying this whole time. And so this whole, like, Tony Khan on what qualities he looks for when scouting a professional wrestler. Fascinating answer. No, nothing about this is fascinating. Tony Khan is not the guy anybody should be. Look how happy he is. I need that for a thumbnail. Tony Khan is never the guy who should be asked about, like, how to develop young talent or scouting people. He's never scouted anyone who wouldn't be a big star regardless, and he has not made anyone into a star yet. He has potential with Fletcher. If Fletcher gets over the way that he will one day in WWE, because they'll push him, right? If they do accomplish that in WWE in his time there, or in AEW rather, good for fucking them. I'll give Tony Khan all the credit. Okay, they haven't fucked Fletcher up. Takeshita's another guy. There's potential there with these guys, but they'd have gotten over regardless. However, a lot of people didn't see it right away in Fletcher the way, like, in MJF, it's like, okay, he could go anywhere and get over. He could go in TNA, people would be talking about him. He could go to NXT, people would be talking about him. He's just one of those guys. It's like Wardlow. Wardlow started getting over. Tony Khan just buries it in a panic. No, you can't get over unless I say it's great. It's not great yet. And so Wardlow just disappeared. He'd have gotten over in NXT. It's like Mariah May. She was getting over wherever she went. Tony Storm, she gets over wherever she's going. Dean Ambrose was already over. Moxley's going to get himself over. You know what I mean? Like, some of these people who Cody Rhodes was over, then he became Stardust, got over, especially with the kids and shit. And then he fucking goes on the indies, gets over. They start AEW, he gets over. He goes back to WWE, gets over. Cody Rhodes is going to get himself over. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Not everyone can do that. Fletcher is a guy where it's like, I don't think people saw, oh, he's going to get himself over and shit. And I'm not saying he's this massive star. We are looking at potential here, but they have the potential. Like, that's a guy I could see really helping them take shit to the next level, like in the future. We're talking down the line, you know? Or he could go to WWE and be a big star there, I'm sure. So he has the potential, but who gives a fuck? There's no fascinating answer Tony Khan could give to like scouting fucking talent. I'm sorry. And people would go, well, his job in the NFL. Yeah, we watched it. We watched it on the NFL game day. So what he does is he looks for undrafted, unsigned 7th round picks and shit like this, and people who went unsigned. And then he goes, yeah, he tells everyone, yeah, I can't wait to hear from you. I think you'll be surprised. And then the majority of the people he picks don't get signed. And then they sign one shitty player that he picks every year to the Jaguars team. What more evidence do you need that that's just like a job? Like, okay, it's the owner's son. We got to pick one guy that he scouts and he's scouting talent, and that's how you pitch it. That if Tony Khan when he thinks something's his idea or he thinks he's onto some shit, they make him believe he's scouting and picking these like, oh, this 7th round guy who went undrafted. Like that's all they're doing. It's like he's on all the committees and stuff. He's talked about it. Why? That's just like what owners' sons do so they don't fuck up the business. It's Richie Rich shit, okay? So I don't know what more proof people need. And I hate to bury Tone this whole time, but let's check out what he says. This fascinating answer, according to the fucking bot Drain Bamager.
What do you look for when you're
I'm down. Hey, listen, I don't give a fuck. Yo, how much does Drain Bamager get bookmarked on this show? And how much am I really roasting him? I just always point out his beep boop beep. I don't care that he just posts clips and little factoids about shit. I'm down for my show. That's awesome. You know what I mean? I don't really give a fuck. And I've been calling it this whole time. Just don't fucking heart and retweet and give them the money, the monetary access or whatever. Or if you can, in your brain, just compartmentalize the fact, well, this is a bot. So if they're freaking out emotionally over one company or the other, discard that. Cool factoids, sure. You know, that's all you got to do. You can't be freaking out. We have Sean Ross Sapp melting down on the IWC again as well later in the show.
Scouting, like what?
I look for wrestlers that the fans connect with, and also and it's all different things. Just like in football players are both different.
I promise you, I did not watch this clip before, and he brings up the football thing because they've made him believe. See, we watch it all. We watch all of Steamboat Tone. There's no getting away from it. And it's just like, I can puzzle piece this shit together. I've just been doing this for so long now at this point. They have him convinced that he's like scouting young. And he even said it. Well, you know, one person every year's made the team that I've picked. Yeah. So they're just giving you a participation. Yeah. Tone's on the team. He can pick some guy, and who knows? Hey, you never know. Maybe one of these 7th rounders someone gets injured and they have an all-star breakout year that Tony picked or something, but that hasn't happened yet. So they're just a guy on the team. You need bodies anyways. It ain't nothing to the Jaguars to just sign a guy to make Tony feel like he did something, wearing that fucking neck brace with that big chart he writes out for it too, for the fucking draft. All the owners and shit are like, it's the equivalent of the monkey spinning the fucking wheel, or the dog who throws the ball into the fucking laundry basket down the stairs to pick winners for the playoffs and shit. It's like, bro,
players that play different roles. Like not every player is the same height and speed and skill set. And there are things that you look for in some players versus other players, and you look for people that can come and play a role in your organization.
He's just talking shit. So, like, what role does like a Cassidy play when you have a Wardlow right there, and people are like, "Look, we don't need it to be all super juicy gorilla guys who are just like super Red Hulk motherfuckers. Just like we don't need it like it was in the '80s, but." I don't know, man. You have some guys like Hobbs and Wardlow. You have Joe. That could be like a main event picture. Hangman. You know, Bobby Lashley's there. You got some guys with some size. Poet and didn't know it. Okay. Might as well might as well put that to use. Like, that would be the right position for some of these guys. Yeah, you had Lance Archer right there. He wasn't even like a guy who was threatening the world champion or whatever. Brody Lee was booked well, but let's be honest, how much of that was he worked primarily with Rhodes and in and around that, like where top guys were there to sort of, and even Tony stuck him with Dark Order, which he actually made work for a faction that got a lot of hate. And you know, Brody Lee was working with like Cody Rhodes and shit. How much of that was Rhodes's input as well, and Brody Lee being so fucking good? You have to remember that. So yeah, I don't mean to just completely bury the guy, but it's like, what positions? You haven't put anyone in the correct position really, other than Joe. And look at all the sickos are melting down about Joe winning the title back. Why? Because it's the right move. It's the right thing to do before he goes and films Twisted Metal 3 starting next year. Season starts filming next year after the holidays and shit. When Joe goes and films that show, someone's going to take it off him. I'm predicting Fletcher. I think Fletcher will win or maybe he doesn't win the tournament, but I think Fletcher is going to turn babyface. I called it. And then he's already starting to do that on the Callis family. And then he's going to, I think, be the one to beat Joe. And then you can get Hangman and Fletcher down the line, because they sort of had like a last minute. Remember that, where Fletcher like last minute replaced a guy, and then, so I mean, that's not bad. They're starting to do some good shit there. But Joe winning the title's the right move. He's their only proven commodity. You can go back in PWT lore. We've chronicled it all here. Samoa Joe has either maintained or increased ratings, no matter how bad or good or whatever the fuck they were during his title reign. And he also has drawn a couple houses for them that we've pointed out. Like, oh, he's in the main event with Mox in a cage. They did 4K people. The last time they were there, Mox was world champ, and they did 1,100 people. Like, we chronicle all this shit here at PWT. So I don't remember exactly what episode it was, but if you go back, you'll find that shit. Joe's their only proven guy. Like, he's a guy that people want to see. WWE fans, AEW, it don't matter. Joe's the fucking man. Him and Hangman, I told you guys too, that main event is actually going to be short, and it'll be a pretty good cage match. Joe ain't going to do, he's not going to do dumb shit, you know? He didn't even really do that whack of shit with Mox. Just a bunch of people started running in and stuff when he was in the cage with Mox. So Joe's a guy, you want to put him in a cage with someone and let him go to work, and he's going to have a short but effective match, especially in this age with his knees, and not even burying him, not even burying him or to pile on him. Like, so many people are hating on Joe right now. All the fucking sickos. They're like, I can't believe Tony Khan would fucking Hangman's our guy. Hangman doesn't draw, bro. Hangman doesn't move the fucking needle. You know, it's the old saying. It sounds like I'm repeating old podcast grifters, as Dave Meltzer would call them. And it's because I am. Because it's just the truth, okay? Anyways, let's continue along and play this clip. I can't even get through 30 seconds of this show without going on a fucking rant.
When
Let's
you're
go.
looking, you say, oh, I think that person could do this. And then eventually maybe they could grow into a role.
And maybe, sorry, this started by me actually trying to give Tony points on Fletcher, okay? He might have seen that in him that a lot of people didn't see, you know? Or like the mainstream maybe didn't. I don't know. The mainstream, is that the right way to word it? The casuals, I don't know how to word it, but the wrestling fans at large maybe didn't look at a Fletcher and go and see him in that tag team and go, oh yeah, that kid's going to be the next whatever the fuck. But he has the potential, you know?
Scouting a football player, you think, okay, well, they could.
If he's in WWE, he's getting pushed. They're pushing him in NXT.
I think they have the potential to grow. And sometimes in whether it's football or wrestling, people can overperform or underperform those expectations, but they're just estimations and ideas that you have. But in the end, I go out and I look for people that I think could connect with the fans and people that could be good fit for AEW, and especially people that'll be good in our locker room and be a good part of the company.
Does he actually go out and scout, or does he just wait for like, okay, you know, Gabe Kidd's hot in Nuge, let's poach him when he's done. Oh, that Michael Oku guy. Yeah, I've heard of him. Osprey bigs him up. Oh, yeah, your wife? Yeah, for sure. Oh, he was in WWE. So who are you looking for? Like, what's a star you've made who wasn't going to be a star? I don't get it. And it's not to take anything away. It's like if you took Darby Allin and put him in NXT, they'd figure out how to push him. They'd figure out what to do with him. Some guys they fucked up though, like Juice Robinson. He went to Japan and sort of figured it out on his own there a little bit better. Right? So I just want to see Tony create a guy that's actually like world champion and then draws them a couple houses, or everyone can unanimously agree for the most part. Like, because we could all agree John Cena's that dude, man. Like some of these dudes who win the world titles, I'm just trying to compare to other companies, right? I guess like in WCW, if Goldberg had the belt, it's because he was that dude. You know, DDP won it. He was that motherfucker at that time. Booker won it. Everybody loved Booker. So even if the booking was shit. So, but I'm not to say like Eric Bischoff developed these guys or whatever the fuck, but Stone Cold was that dude when he became Stone Cold. You become undeniable. I want to see Tony, like, I want to see Fletcher get to that level, I guess is what I'm saying, before anybody asks him about scouting or anything like that. You know, maybe Mariah May, but who knew her like way more? I think more people know Blake Monroe now, and like, this is what you equate it to. People were hyping up her stardom shit, internet fans, and then internet fans were hyping up what she did in AEW. And then now in NXT, you could argue she's been more memorable in her short amount of time there. To more people, to a larger audience. So it's like, who got her more over? WWE as Blake Monroe or Mariah May as just because they put a world title on her? It doesn't mean so. Again, and then a lot of it lies on the talent. But yeah, I just don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear Tony talking about the territory days or doing wrestling, like surviving in the wrestling game and all this shit. I hate when he talks about this. I hate when people ask him these questions. He shouldn't be the source. Bruce Pritchard has a podcast. He would know way more. You know what I mean? I don't even think he owned a Fed. Did Bruce Pritchard ever own his own territory and shit? I know that like his brother trained a bunch of motherfuckers. But I just think there's way more qualified people, and it's like you have Tony right there. And I mean, yeah, you want to ask him, is like nobody hits up Brett Lauderdale and goes, "Hey man, your booking philosophies." They just look at if it's working or not. And the same thing with TNA, but with Tony, people pretend like it's this creative philosophy. He's sitting there wearing fake glasses that he doesn't need, putting on a show. This is all bullshit. He just asks Dave Meltzer. He just does what he thinks Meltzer will give 5 stars to and what he's a fan of because he's a Wrestling Observer contributor. That's all it is. It's not like this nuanced, intricate, high IQ. Poor people don't like AW. Only rich, super elite Homo sapiens enjoy
poor
AW.
people don't like AEW.
Like, it's not that deep, you know?
Also people that are going to be great wrestlers for us. And it doesn't necessarily in every case have to be right away. Sometimes it can be, but it could be somebody for the future.
Yeah. Or WWE's future as it's panning out in their company. So here is Tony Khan with a quote cocaine energy clap. This is from @PowerfulKing. JJ posted this clip. He's sitting here with Mark Briscoe, who it looks like they gave him a camo version of the TNT title. So they already had it pre-made, and they just, so didn't he win it that night? And then he comes. So Tony had that made beforehand, then they walk it out. They don't unveil it on the next show. They bring it out at the post show. So they had that made. So they had the belt pre-made. Like they just bury all their shit.
Tell you how much that means to everybody here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you, man.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What is Tone? Hold on. What the fuck? Tone is going nuts. Oh my God. Watch.
Tell you how much that means to everybody.
Oh,
here.
this is going in the
Thank you,
archives.
Tony. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Tell you how much that means.
He's clapping so hard. Why don't you stand up and give him a standing O? Oh my goodness. Watch that one more time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Tell you how much that means to everybody here.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
my
Thank you.
God. That's so good. That's so good.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Tony Khan, how do you feel about the super yacht kismet?
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Tell you how much that means. To
Tone, what sounds were coming out of the room of the super yacht kismet with you and that intern in there?
Appreciate you.
tell you how
Oh man. Oh shit. Tone, how do you feel about John Cena's retirement tour? Oh my God, dude. Tone, how do you feel about AEW right now? Is it great?
Appreciate you, man.
Oh.
Appreciate you.
Dude, I love that clip way too much. Okay, so moving along here. Here's Big Boom AJ, and he's at the post full gear scrum with Tone, and they start giving some booms. They're bringing booms to the crew. Okay.
Hi, AJ. Dave Weinbrecht from Adventures in Collecting.
Hey, Dave.
So it's your second year at Full Gear,
Yes.
second victory.
Thank you.
It's now time, I think, where we discuss, like, hey, is there going to be a Big Boom AJ action figure? And would it be like a Costco exclusive, something along those lines?
You have this one?
Oh, 100%. There's going to be a Big Boom AJ action figure. I think that's may I say 5 Big Boom?
5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom.
What am I?
Hi, AJ.
Jesus. Yeah, it's pretty cringe, man. So, speaking of Full Gear, Brian Alvarez, Brian had a couple takes on Full Gear that I wanted to go over here. And Brian, he's been having just some delusional takes lately, and he's doubling and tripling down with rage about some of his just ass takes, which we're going to break down on Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week, live on Thursdays on YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern. However, tomorrow's edition is going to be earlier, so make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be earlier during the day tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in live on YouTube, Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week, hashtag double DMW. And of course, it features Brian Alvarez, and he's just been having some terrible takes. Now he's melting down about them. Clearly, he's heard of the show. He blocked your boy Phil, and then he's just been melting down about the shit I've been roasting him the hardest about. And I'll say about one more time, about. And I don't even think I'm going to roast these takes, but here's just him talking about and putting over AEW Full Gear here.
I was texting with somebody in AEW that had actually been on the show.
It was me. I mean,
and during this.
So, like, I was texting with someone in AEW who's on this show, and they were live tweet stooging to me shit. Oh, my
Stupid
God.
idiot.
Oh,
Wrestling's not fake! You fucking mark!
Oh, my God.
I was texting with somebody in AEW that had actually been on the show. And during this match, they were just like, I cannot imagine working the main event of one of these shows. They're so long, and it's so hard to get the crowd into the match. And I responded.
So why are you texting that to Brian? Why aren't you going up to Tony Khan and saying, bro,
Brian.
Osprey, why aren't you going up to Tony Khan and going, we need to fucking shorten this shit up. Hey, you ever think about shortening this shit up? I'm not trying to be aggro and harsh or mellow, but this is getting too long. This shit is getting out of hand. Every single pay-per-view, we're just doing way too much shit. Has anybody ever thought about that? Lex, why doesn't anybody tell that to Tony Khan, dude?
I don't know.
Me neither. Anyways.
Man, this Moxie did like 8 months straight. The first half or more of those John Moxie matches were wrestling matches. He was in there doing a wrestling match after all of this crazy shit for 4 hours. And the crowd was just sitting there. And that's when you'd go on Twitter and you'd see all these people going, they got to take the belt off Moxley. The people don't care about Moxley. Well, now in hindsight, I'm thinking, what is he doing now that he lost the title? Every single one of his matches is a crazy bloodbath, ultraviolet match from the opening bell. Why wasn't he doing that in the main event when he was champion? I think it was because it was by design.
Oh my God. Brian, shut the fuck up.
Brian.
Oh my God.
It was one of the 50 things this guy was doing to make you as a fan so sick of him. You got to take remember we heard that? You got to take the belt off this guy. Nobody cares about his matches. These matches are boring. Blah, 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 blah. Well, by the time he got to Hangman, these people were dying for him to lose the title. And Hangman winning that title from Moxley was like the biggest AEW moment of the year. Right? The end of All In?
Yep.
Was there a bigger moment than that?
Oh, God, no.
It's all by design by this crazy dude. So I never doubt anything he does. I didn't fully figure out what happened at the end of this match, but I guarantee that he's got some crazy plan that's going to play out probably into them all beating his ass or whatever.
It's all by design from Mox to lose to Hangman and have it be the biggest moment. No, dude, it's just Mox losing the title. Like, no shit. I hate when Brian comes to these epiphanies. Like, we all understand what happened. He held the belt hostage, hid it in a briefcase. Someone's gonna beat him. Darby, Hangman, Joe. Someone's gonna beat him. And it's like, oh shit. And it was the biggest moment for AEW. And what was it? A wet fart. A wet, shiny fart in church. And why? Because it doesn't matter. Mox just kept doing crazy shit. He just kept doing crazy shit. He lost the belt. He fucking just did blood and guts. He drowned Darby in a fishbowl after he lost the belt. He kept doing crazy shit, Brian. You're just like selectively remembering that you think he stopped doing crazy shit. It was a wet fart because nothing changed. Moxley just kept doing sicko shit and nothing changed. The Death Riders just run out. They added people to their group. They walk in and out of Hell in a Cell or War Games matches. They just come and go, bring out a bed of nails, come and go as they please. Like, it's been nothing. He's like, oh, it's this crazy mind-boggling plan Mox had to what? Hold the company hostage, tank their fucking ratings, finally give people what they want, according to you guys, but then AEW posts some of their lowest ratings in history for Dynamite, and then they just take the belt off Hangman. That was Mox's crazy plan. And then Mox was still just drowning people in fishbowls, not in the main event. Or I guess it was the main event. I guess Blood and Guts match was the main event. And I get, yeah, okay, so I'll take the L on that one. But because wasn't Darby Mox the main event, or was it co-main? That's what I'm saying. I don't even remember. Might have been co-main. The fishbowl drowning. Was that the main event? Either way, doesn't even matter. He still went and did that shit. Did crazy shit. All he's been doing is crazy shit. Oh, but he's like having real wrestling matches against Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah, because they're not fucking stupid marks. Like, they really wrestle. Look at their body of work in NXT. They don't need... Yeah, did they do War Games? Yes. Did they have to stick fishing rods up their assholes and pull them out of their throats to fucking shock and awe the fans or whatever sicko shit they're going to come up with, Mox is going to come up with next? No, they didn't have to do that. So, yeah, it's because he's just really wrestling guys who he views, these guys are real shooters. It's cool if I really shoot with them. That's what it is. It's not genius. It's that Mox thinks he's this cool, tough guy. They put the belt on him, and what Tony was trying to build, and I'll give Tony Khan credit for this. It's just whoever beat Mox was like, thank God. So it could have been Hangman, could have been. It's not like this whole well, it is by design in that obviously that's why the heel holds. It's like when JBL held the title. We could not wait for him to lose that shit. You know what I mean? Or you could pick a million instances of like Ric Flair and all these other guys. Hollywood Hogan held the belt, and we couldn't wait till they lost that shit. But hating them's part of the joy and increases the ratings and shit. That's not what happened with Mox. He just held the belt hostage, tanked the fucking ratings. If he was such a genius, he would have looked at all the ratings and shit and went, and all the houses. He went to Ohio and drew 1,100 people as world champ. 1,100 as world champ. That's facts. We covered it on the show. Was that part of the master plan? Seems like a pretty shitty plan, dude. And you're glazing this guy.
I was texting with somebody
and Mox. And when Brian goes, I was texting with somebody in AEW, he's like in one of the matches.
Brian.
And then he just sucks on the sackling, on the fucking yam bag of John Moxley. It's because it was Moxley texting him this shit.
Wrestling's not fake!
It was Moxley texting him this. I guarantee you. Moving along here, because we have another Trying Brian video here, and he talks about Samoa Joe winning the title.
I will not be a hypocrite. I said we need more finishes that people don't see coming. And I don't mean like swerves that don't make any sense. Like, this better make sense in the end. But
this made perfect fucking sense, and I sensed it a mile away. I told you guys I could see them taking the title. I predicted like that whole card too on the last one. I fucking like down to a T, down to even Fletcher starting to turn face and shit. So I said, yo, if they put it on Joe, like, do it, man. And I won't lie. I think I picked Hangman, and it, like, safe money's Hangman for sure. But it's like, bro, you might as well. Like, what else are you? You're doing your lowest ratings. These houses are shit. Joe is the only proven commodity. We want to see Joe versus Lashley. People want to see it. I don't care what anyone has to fucking say. If you put Joe and Lashley in a cage at All In like a fight pit scenario, the way they did Kurt Angle and Joe, people, UK sickos, wackos, people are going to pop for that. Do it before they're all old and retired, man. Fucking do it already. Stop fucking around, It's like the Kenny Omegas and shit. That's all fun, but have Kenny wrestle Lashley and Joe and these guys. Have him. We don't care about the Bucks and Yuta and Darby Allin and shit. I'm sorry. People don't care about that shit anymore. Darby Allin's cool when he's with Sting. Otherwise, no one cares. No one cares about Orange Cassidy. I don't care about Garcia. I don't care how much you want to put them, shove them down our throats. People don't fucking care. It's that simple.
I felt for a long time that
people care about Joe.
You can just look at these pay-per-views and just say who's winning every match and why. And I think every now and then it's good where, I mean, you could see this crowd thought Joe had no chance whatsoever.
I definitely did not see this
of
coming.
Winning this match.
I was stunned when they booked a rematch. I didn't understand what was going on. Well, now I know.
I had it spoiled, but like when I heard it, I was astounded.
So then
like,
someone
what?
told him to. I had it spoiled, actually. Someone's just texting me all the finishes. You fucking guys in AEW!
The best guys, Tony Khan!
Wrestlers! Tony's calling Dave on the air! This is who your career... Oh, my God. These guys back there, wrestlers back there, spoiling the finishes and telling Brian what's happening during the show. Live tweeting. Someone who's on the show.
Brian.
You're doomed. You're fucked. This is why Brian and Dave glaze. This is why. They're invested in... They have people telling them the finishes. They get to fucking pitch ideas to Tone. Oh my God.
What? And then
oh man, it's so much worse than we ever thought. Every year, it's just worse than you thought.
So I think something like this, sparingly, is good. Just So you're watching these matches not expecting to know who's going to win, but
And we always knew it. We always knew it. We always knew this shit, but we assumed. And we don't want to assume, right? But now they're getting so bold. Tony and Dave and Brian, they're just boldly, they just lay it out on Front Street. And they just don't care anymore. And it shows. Companies in the state it's in.
it has to make sense in the end. So hopefully they have a plan. I don't know if it's a good plan, but they have one, because this was not something where Vince McMahon showed up the day of the show and changed a finish. This has been in the works.
No,
for a
absolutely
while.
not. No, this is what they
This
wanted
was
to do.
in. This was planned for a while, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, you don't even need to talk to Tone or Stooge that you're talking to the wrestlers. And then fucking dummy Brian here just making the whole locker room look bad, by the way. Any AEW folks out there listening to the show right now, these guys are making you look bad. Tone, this guy, just stooging, this is what your locker room. And then also when those girls walked out of, like, Tegan Knox and her wife walked out of fucking Collision, Brian's going, oh, a bunch of girls just ran to us, and Fightful's going, a bunch of girls ran to us, and we're just telling the shit. What the fuck? You guys are all just they're just not in a ship, all hands on deck working together, rowing in one direction. Let's get to the island. There's salvation. They're not focused on that. They're just all like doing their own thing, eating the rations they have out in the middle of the ocean, no land in sight. Everyone's paddling whichever way. They're choosing people to fucking eat. They're eating their own, cannibalizing themselves. Oh, man, it's so fucking disappointing. And the reason that happens is because it all falls on the shoulders of one guy, and he's the best guy, and his name is Tony Khan. And we have some Tony Khan Cringe here. Let me check in with chat really quick. I redline there, redline Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, hit like. There's over 200 watching across YouTube and X. If you're on X, hit the heart, hit the retweet. If you're on YouTube, hit like, subscribe as well. Or you can super chat in, or you can become a member or gift a membership this holiday season. But memberships are 99 cents. I do a weekly bonus show. Okay, those are my pitches. Speaking of members, Paul Carpenter has been a member for 7 months, and EZR 1987 is become a new member here. So we acknowledge you guys. Thank you so much for your support.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, enjoy the bonus shows. They've been fun as shit lately. So good lately. They've always been good, but they've been like elite level. I've been bringing some really good content to the bonus shows. So whatever happened to the mole? Did the mole disappear, guys? I don't know. The last I saw, Mole was DMing me some shit, and I've always taken what the mole said with a grain of salt. But he came out swinging early on. We did the special on the mole, the AEW mole, and then I just sort of left it out there, like, okay, we'll keep an eye on it, but we're not. And Mole's been nice to me. He's put flutes out there. He knows what's up. And we know people are listening. But I don't know. I haven't, he privated his account a couple times, so you just didn't really see his posts popping up as much. But I didn't realize he even disappeared. I haven't really been on Twitter as much. I kind of just go through the timeline. I post and ghost. I mixed it up. I had Conrad Thompson. Oh, yeah. I should have told you guys this, too. Conrad Thompson. Oh, come on now, Phil. That's not very fair. He quote tweeted me and went back and forth with me a little bit. And Ricky Morton as well hit the retweet on old Philly Phil and fucking popped a little joke, which we're going to get into that later as well. It was awesome. But yeah, so let's get back into some AEW news. We have Tony Khan Cringe, but we also just have some thises and that's from around the internet. So Dynamite's tonight, right? And they are in Oklahoma, where the wind blows sweeping. Tickets distributed 1,400, and they're set up for 2,800. I mean, this is as of yesterday, so it's just a cold, dead product. I hate to use that word, but it's just true. It's just cold and dead and lifeless, and no one cares anymore, you know? So Brody Lee Jr. had this to say about AEW. He clarified that he isn't signed to AEW, but has a deal where he can have a contract when he turns 18 and wrestle John Moxley in a death match. So again, how the fuck do you sign a kid up to have a death match when he's a kid? Yeah, when I'm 18, I agree to this thing. Obviously, it'll be at his discretion, but like, goddamn. He says, I'm not signed. Everybody thinks I'm signed. I'm not signed. I signed a contract too. The deal was when I turn 18, if I want that contract, it is always open. The only thing I really signed was that. And I also signed a random contract. Okay, but the only thing I signed, you're a kid. Do you know that? Is Tony Khan preying on children, allegedly? Like, what the fuck is going on here? And not in the way most people would interpret that sentence. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? So you signed a thing that like, so let's say you want to go sign to WWE. You're not allowed to do that. Is that in the contract? Hope to God your fucking mother looked over that and everything. Jesus. Tone. It's just like, how about don't offer him shit and just offer him friendship and help and his mom a job. That's all good. Don't fucking offer him to sign any goddamn thing after his father passed away and all this shit. That's fucking kooky, man. Anyways. He says, versus, I also signed a random contract for when I turn 18, me versus Mox in a death match. I don't know if I'll take that one up. I'll definitely wrestle him. I don't know in a death match, though. Fucking kooky, weird shit, man. It's fucking, this is like, I don't know. They're like, they want the Rizzlers fans to see Moxley getting impaled in Minecraft and shit. So here is the latest AEW where wrestlers work at, even though their marketing agent guy, their head of marketing or whatever, just dipped the fuck out of the company after he filmed all these trash segments.
What's that smell?
Ugh, what is that?
Ugh. Does that smell you?
It's not me, guys. Are they in Nashville for AEW? Sorry, that's just maybe I looked at the wrong place. Maybe I looked at I don't know, WrestleTix. I just read it wrong. Whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter where they are. Okay, they have about 1,400 tickets.
Hey, Darby. It's not me, guys. Oh God, Beast Mortals, humans work here too, man. Oh.
So it was a dead animal that Beast Mortis killed and stored in the fridge, even though let me think, even though, did they show him there? No, it was Darby who came out of the casket. Okay. And then, yeah. So Brody King and then no Mortis even in the background. So, okay. Mortis, everyone's like, who the fuck is that? The guy who came out of the coffin? Jesus Christ. Ric Flair praises Tony Khan, says Tony truly cares for everyone who works in AEW. Tony Khan is a really great guy. The guys over in AEW are great. Wrestling is in a good place right now. I can't say enough good things about him. He's fantastic. Yeah, well, he just pays you. He just pays you to not go to WWE. Legitimately cares about everybody. They're not just a number to him. I think he legitimately cares about everybody that works for him. That's good. Good. It's good for him. So the December 13 episode of Collision will not air head-to-head with John Cena's final match at WWE Saturday Night's Main Event, as confirmed by Warner Bros. Discovery's TV schedule for the month. That episode of AEW Collision, which is being held in Cardiff, Wales, will instead air at 4:30 Eastern. So yeah, they're just backing down. No, it makes sense. Do it whenever. It's just a nothing show, so it does not matter when you do it. It should just be on YouTube. Free to the masses. And every episode you should have a wrestler designated to be in the chat or to chatting with the chatters and answering questions and stuff like that during the show. And maybe after the show you have like a post Collision wrap up stream, whatever, answering your live questions and shit. You could totally do that. So Tony Chimmel confirms his AEW departure after short run. Yeah, they just brought you in to one time go, the rated R superstar, Adam Copeland, because Tony Khan's a mark for everything that's happened outside of AEW. He's just doing shitty knockoff versions of everything else that's already happened in other companies and then pushing it off as his own in AEW. Now, speaking of which, brilliant transition. Brandon Thurston posts that new AEW voluntarily withdrew its application for the Shockwave trademark, ending the dispute with NWA over the name. And again, I mean, that's just a fact, but you know Thurston couldn't wait to make them look good in this instance, or attempt to make them look good in this instance. Okay? And it's funny that Tony Khan chose to do that because he just blatantly ripped off their title, the national title. And just look at this. So just the design of the belt. So Tony Khan in the midst of a lawsuit, okay, over the national title. And in the midst of this fucking lawsuit, a shot over the name Shockwave, what happens? He says he brings Tony Schiavone on his little Twitter video and goes, oh, we're doing a national title and it's based, here's the lineage of the national title on TBS. Let Schiavone tell you about it. And we're bringing our own version of the belt to AEW, but he didn't pitch it like that. It seemed as though it was the NWA title. A bunch of wrestlers got upset. Tone says he called Billy Corgan on the phone. Tone's like, oh, it went down great. And then he voluntarily let up the trademark or whatever the fuck he's doing. Yeah, NWA, you can have this one. Maybe even settled it. Who knows? But saved everybody going to court. In the midst of all that, though, he just like lifts their title and shit. People are like, no, it's not a stolen title. It looks the exact same as this one. Not only is it stolen, but it looks like the exact same as this one. And everybody knows the color scheme. Like everybody knows that that's the color scheme of the title. Even the one that they use right now with the red strap and the fucking silver on it. Everybody knows like that's the color scheme. So it just doesn't fucking matter what anybody says. Like, this looks bad if they are currently being sued for, oh, you fucking took this name of this show that we do in the wrestling space. And then all of a sudden in the midst of that, this title comes out and everyone's like, what the fuck? And it looks exactly like the other title, even uses the blue and the stars on the corner and the way the plate is laid out. Everything to a T. And you have sickos fucking coping about this, talking about that's not what happened. Bitch. And they didn't lift this fucking title. And Tony Khan's intention this whole time by also having the design of it and the color scheme and all of that, like you have it just looks like you're stealing their fucking ideas. This doesn't help that other case if they're being sued. Okay. And that brought me to the miscellaneous news, though. This portion, we have to jump around today. And I believe it's miscellaneous news or it's in the sicko segment. Yes, it's in miscellaneous news. So my take on this on Twitter, as I bumblefuck around, drew the attention of one Conrad Thompson, who had a response.
Oh, come on now, Eric.
Right? And so this was my tweet about it. Right? I say, this title is flat out stolen. The color scheme is from the other version of the NWA title. It's an amalgamation of both. If TK's really being sued over Shockwave, this and the video of Schiavone talking about the national title history could be interpreted as further evidence that he's lifting ideas. Bunch of redacts go, Lulz, no, like even look at this redact, AW Shield, look at this. Oh, look, it's a WWF version of the same belt. Yes, that, who cares? I could go get a fake WWE title right now with the side plates on it that say PWT. That doesn't mean anything. Like, and you're just completely, everyone's missing the idea and the whole point of this, right? Like everyone's like, incorrect, prove it wrong, then stupid. What did I say that's incorrect? It looks flat out stolen. It looks the exact same. Look at where the continent is. Look at the swirls. If that's the AEW one, if that's the real belt, the blue stars, we looked at the other belt. We just looked at them. They use the blue trim, everything. Okay? Hopefully Tony Khan creates a new version of this fucking title. That's the one, though, is it not? Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. And all I said is it's flat out stolen. The color scheme is from the other version of the title. It's an amalgamation of both. If TK's really being sued over Shockwave, this and the video of Shivani talking about the national title could be interpreted as further evidence that he's lifting ideas. That's all I'm saying. I'm just stating a fact. Conrad responds, oh, come on now, Phil. That's not very fair. Oh, come on. That's not very fair to say that AEW, a healthy AEW. I'm here for them lifting National Wrestling Alliance title ideas. I actually have 2 of those on my wall, and you can save 25% if you use promo code PhilMarksReacts down here at SaveWithConrad.com. Oh, come on. That's not very fair. It's Starcade97. Chat me up about this title looking very similar to the other title, Phil Marks. And so Conrad says the NWA does not, did not, has not, will not ever own this design. Reggie Parks and this company own the design and dozens of others. Okay, great. Good for them. And I responded, I just say, doesn't matter. Well, Ricky Morton quote tweeted me and went, hey, I know who owns the original Blackjack Mulligan NWA National Heavyweight Championship. Wink. I don't know. I just marked out for that. That was cool. But I just said, doesn't matter. If someone made a belt with eagle wings and blue trim, people will think WWE Championship. That's the point I'm making. I don't give a fuck who designed the belt, right? Because that's the, like, what do people think? I'm saying you should get sued and you're going to lose this case. No, they're being sued. They're not being sued over, like NWA didn't invent the word shockwave either. It's the fact that in a wrestling capacity, that's their IP, right? Tony Khan trademarked something that NWA already was doing for wrestling. You can't do that. And so this just looks like they're lifting ideas. That's all I said. I just stated the fact. This is further evidence. You could present this as like, here's further evidence. Tony Khan is just stealing shit he saw. I'm not talking about who created it. If Tony Khan made a show called Raw with red ropes, it would be like, whoa. Or maybe you could argue that is like a Vince McMahon creation or whatever, but it's like the point we're getting at is they're in trouble for lifting ideas elsewhere with the same company they just copied a fucking title from. And what about Reggie Parks then? Reggie Parks owns it. Did Reggie Parks make that one? What about them? You know what I mean? Reggie Parks and WWE play very nice together. What about AEW and Reggie Parks? Do you guys look into that? I'm not trying to get all the... I'd be asking questions like that if I was trying to win a lawsuit. Oh, I want Tony to get sued and shit. No, I don't care about any of that. I'm just pointing out it's a flat out stolen title. Okay? And they're in trouble right now. The accusation is you guys are stealing ideas from us. And then all of a sudden a title pops up that looks stolen. Well, that doesn't look very good, you know? And then Conrad's like, you're tweeting about suing folks. So, and I just said, because the two are related in a sense that you could argue TK's stealing shit from them. According to people in NWA, Tony Khan was being sued over Shockwave. NWA didn't invent the word Shockwave either. It doesn't matter who is commissioned to make the belt itself or whatever. Or what's the rest of it? With the word, it just comes across like he's stealing shit from NWA to the point people have sued him over it, allegedly. And then this guy, like, then what exactly are you suggesting they sue for, since you don't give a fuck who designed the belt? Hey, retard, I didn't suggest they sue anybody. They were being sued. Right? That's what Brian Idol said. That's according to the dirt sheets right now. Tony Khan, according to Thurston, Tony Khan fucking led up the He willingly let go of the shockwave thing. Why did he do that? Well, because this title thing makes it look like he's just lifting ideas. Again, this AEW Shield Spurg. WWF, the same belt. What does this prove? WWE didn't, no one was using this belt on their TV show and fucking running around with, you don't associate that belt with WWE. So what point are you proving? Holy shit. It's like, you retard alert. You can't fucking, like, people are so fucking dumb in the IWC. Not even Conrad. But I don't know why Conrad, Bud, you don't have to sweep for Tony Khan and these guys, right? You should, if anything, be more protective of the historical aspect. You and Dave Meltzer both. I'm criticizing, and I see you follow me, bro, and I follow you and Conrad. I am a big fan of 83 Weeks. I won't lie. It's like one of the only wrestling pods I can listen to anymore these days because Bischoff's always spitting, you know, and Conrad does know how to put together a show. When he links up with these legends, man, I don't know if anyone's done it better. You know, you have these other guys who try and like sort of do the same thing that he does with other wrestlers. No one's done it as good as Conrad. So I'll put that over. But like, buddy, you and Meltzer need to start protecting the history of pro wrestling. You should take offense to this shit, that they're just doing knockoff garbage of everything. And when I'm not advocating anyone sues anybody. Okay. I'm not advocating for that at all, but these sickos come, then what exactly are you suggesting they sue for? I didn't suggest they sue for anything. They're being sued. Learn how to read, stupid. Fuck. This is why I don't use Twitter that much, you know, anymore. I just pop in. It was cool. I looked at the notes. I would have missed it too. I almost just was like, nah, I'm not even going to click on my notifications today. So most days I don't even look at the notifications, or I just click it so the number clears and then I just go immediately back to the timeline. I'm just trying to lick off tweets, not interact as much. But I almost didn't even see this either. So shout out Conrad. But that's not very fair, Conrad, to come at me like that with some bullshit, taking my words and misinterpreting them. No, I don't think you did that. I just think some of the sickos have, and they're not even intellectually capable of even understanding the conversation you and I are having. But anyways, moving along here, back to the AEW stolen belt news. This all lies on the shoulders of one man, and his name is Tony Khan, and he's the best guy. We watched a bit of his Cringe earlier from the Fallout of Full Gear. But this is what Eric Bischoff had to say about Tony Khan, speaking of 83 Weeks. And here's another quote of him just ripping TK up.
Tony's in a unique position in that he's unaccountable. He doesn't have to be, he's not held in account financially. I was under a microscope financially, as well as from a performance perspective, in a ratings perspective, in an operational perspective, because WCW was owned by Turner Broadcasting. So the corporate environment that I had to live within is much different in terms of accountability than where Tony gets to operate from. Tony's seat is really accountable to no one but Tony from a financial perspective. I didn't have that luxury. And when you can afford—
So nobody understands. All these old guys are jealous because he has a bottomless pit of money and they never had that. They all had that. All these old guys, I seen sickos saying shit like this today. All of these guys had money marks. Eric was called ATM Eric, was the joke about him. But even he had to answer to people. That's how Vince McMahon won. He didn't have to answer to anybody. That's the reason AEW ever had a chance, was because WWE had to answer to people, and then Tony Khan popped up, billionaire, doesn't have to answer to anybody. He fucking fumbled it. Just accept that, folks. Just accept it. And it's not a full fumble. We've seen with TNA. If TNA didn't start having the type of comeback they are again, where they're like relevant in the wrestling world again, I wouldn't have faith in AEW, but it's like, if AEW doesn't just disappear off the face of the earth, they'll have a resurgence themselves in like 10 years or something. And then it won't be cool to make fun of them in 6 years. We'll all be making fun of like something else, you know? So it just is what it is. If you can't accept that, I don't know what to tell you.
Or to pay for your seat, it's a lot easier to hold on to that seat. So I'd be careful about comparing yourself to other people who were, quote unquote, in that chair, and your longevity as it relates to your accountability and the accountability of others who held that responsibility.
And that's the whole thing, man. When it comes to, okay, you put Punk in a position where someone's getting smacked. Multiple wrestlers have been put in positions or felt as though they're in a position where someone needed to get smacked. Tony fears for his life. You criticize his booking, the fucking Conrads and the, oh, come on now, Phil, that's not very fair to bring me up again after you had you said your piece with me. The Conrads and the Meltzers come and start sweeping for him, right? And the Sickos and shit, they start sweeping for him. There's no accountability. There's no accountability when it's like, oh, this person hasn't been used, or this person wasn't booked correctly, or this person who everyone loved is now mad at the company. Tony Khan just skirts that. Oh yeah, he's being sued. And people saying they weren't being sued. Yes, dude. Brian Idol in NWA and Thurston both said. So Thirsty Thurston, who again is an AEW, he doesn't even sweep for AEW. He just really dislikes WWE. So he hates on WWE, and he confirmed it too, is all I'm saying. And a guy who works there. So yes, I'm going to take their words for it. Shockwave was obviously something. Tony Khan had to phone Corgan. Why? Because there was nothing going on there legally. Fuck that. There was more than meets the eye, Brian, to all of that, whether they're being sued or not. But I will believe the people in the company, and then Thurston backs it up. Okay. Thurston's got his nose. He has lawsuits with cities over WWE attendances and shit like that. I'm going to believe Thurston would snoop that out, okay? But it's just the constant skirting of accountability from Tony Khan. That's why it won't improve either. You have to coddle him, and that's not conducive for a pro wrestling company. And Bret Hart, we talked earlier about stars. He just buried MJF. He's like, MJF, who's that? Just curious, though, who is it? Oh, AEW wrestler. You can tell I don't watch a lot anymore in that. So that's what Bret Hart had to say about MJF. But we had other legends in the game burying some talent. Actually, let's do a Tony Khan Cringe really quick. Here's just a minute long Tony Khan Cringe.
I think it's great for fans to see. It's amazing how quickly the time's flown by, and it's great to look back at the early years of a promotion that's still growing.
It's really incredible because you really wouldn't think that they would come to this area or anything like that, or that they would take the time out to do this. But I think it's really incredible, and it speaks as to how passionate they are about wrestling. It's really cool to be able to meet
What?
them.
Hi, how are you, sir? Doing well. Hi. Tomorrow will be my 60th AEW show. 60? Yes, 60. He'll be his second.
Be out here seeing fans.
Tone, like what? Who's that? Your cousin? Who is that guy?
Earlier, and to be able to go back,
random guy
out after this. I like to hear people's opinions, and the only way to do that is to get out and talk to people.
If there's one takeaway from today that I'll remember forever, is that Tony Khan really does care about.
So they did a book signing
about how you spell your name.
What book was this for? This book is all elite? Order this book. So he did a book signing like he wrote this book is all, but you didn't write it. What guy did you pay to write that bullshit in that book, dude? He should be getting the adulation, Tone. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Cornette absolutely went off on Fingershay, and he destroyed him.
Fuck you, bye, boom.
And we have to go down this sicko tunnel here a little bit. So these kids are wrestling in a room, and I mean, this is how Jim Cornette saw this, and he quote tweeted it, I think, and he was like, oh, these kids will have fucking paralyzed necks or some shit like that. Or someone tweeted it. It might have not been Jim, but they were like critical of these kids doing this, right? Now, when I was a kid, like, this is what we did. We backyard wrestled and shit. We were doing this exact shit or even dumber shit. I promise you. But again, do I condone it? No. Do I want my kid doing this, especially with no medics around? No. You just break someone's neck. Like when you become an adult, you're like way more aware of, that DDT could have went really bad. You know what I mean? And it's just for you and your friends. But I mean, at the same time, you're passionate about this thing. These kids clearly love wrestling either way. So they're hitting moves on each other. They're pretty good too. I mean, it's like a cookie sheet. We would do that too. So like we would have those. You would get like this is stupid shit, but this is the type of shit we'd be doing as well. But we'd get like these like sheets. You get like a frozen pizza or whatever it would come on, or like a frozen like lasagna or something. And we would tell our mom, like, yo, save the fucking pan because we're going to bust each other with it, and those are just like, whatever. You're not getting CTE from these fucking pans, but taking a bump, a Pop Rocks or a Code Red on a deck. I don't know about this. That's kind of crazy.
He's got a dream.
I mean, that sounded stiff.
No, you're lying. Yo, get out of here. You're
Out
lying.
the window.
Yo, this is yo, no. Why? No.
I mean, it's dumb, but you're kids. Like everybody does dumb shit when you're kids, and this just looks like kids having fun. I don't know. I'm not mad at this at all. I love this. It's bringing me back to my childhood. But yeah.
No, please don't do it to him, sir. Please, sir. Please, Mr. Cringe, sir, please. No, please. Mercy.
I think that was the dad came in and just destroyed. And their friends are all loving it. Loving every minute of it. And so, like, Jim Cornette had something to say about it, I forget. And then Will Ospreay quote tweeted and just said, I fully support this, bruv. Bruv, I fully support, especially the part where they fall down. And then Jim Cornette quote tweets and goes, he says from his hospital bed after major surgery, kids, keep trying this at home. And it's true. Like, we shouldn't be encouraging kids. I think the smart thing to do is not encourage them to try pro wrestling at home. Wrestlers would come on TV or they'd have those commercials like, don't try this at home. And I do think sports leagues, I'm not saying we have to go old school where they have to make like fucking PSAs, but I do think it's wise to promote, and like obviously it's parents' responsibility at the end of the day, just like anything they watch or do or try. You have to have a relationship with your kid there, but it's like, I think sports leagues just in general saying like, this, like, don't, even football, like, hey kids, don't just slam your heads against each other, like save this for on the field type thing. Just promoting that, I don't think is a bad thing for any physical whatever the fuck. But at the same time, you don't go to the circus and they say, warning, don't try this at home. It's sort of implied, right? So Ricochet, though, asked for the smoke with Jim Cornette. Okay, Ricochet, who last time Jimbo called him out or responded, Ricochet wanted nothing to do with it. He fucking backed down and was like, you're still the best, man. And like kissed his ass, right? But Ricochet responded to Jim and said, didn't a bunch of the old school guys have knee, back, hip, neck, and all other types of surgeries, injuries? Weren't they working smart? You sound fucking dumb as shit. Damn. And Ricochet is correct in that assessment. You know, the old school guys did have knee, back, hip, and all that other stuff. They also paved the road. They also are the guys who worked 350 days a year so that you motherfuckers didn't have to, which is why you guys are able to do this crazy shit these days. Whereas like back then, you couldn't do that, and there was the threat of you really getting stretched if you did dumb shit. There's like a lot of reasons why you couldn't do dumb shit or whatever, but also back then they did promote like don't try this shit at home though, Stinkashay. So that is the difference. Like they had shows intended for families where they'd say that to the crowd. I'm sure if JJ, I don't know if he's in chat tonight. My guy JJ, I'm sure he attends family shows and puts on family shows where I'm sure they've said like don't try this at home at some of them, maybe not all of them, but even to this day. And then WWE, even during the Attitude Era, they were very much like don't try this at home and whatnot. So I don't know. I think it's just different perspectives on that. Like, yeah, they were doing crazy shit. And yes, the canvases were way harder and they didn't have padding at every arena. And the Elimination Chamber was made out of fucking steel. And like, you know, I'm going through the territories all the way up until like, when did Ricochet start? Just after the Attitude Era kind of died out. He probably hit the indies. So it was just a different time, and guys were heavier too. Like it wasn't a bunch of you skinny dudes flipping around as much as it was like big, you're lifting up big burly. Oh, bro, you know something, dude, when I pressed that stinky giant jack above my head, brother, and I slammed him to the mat into the core of the earth, dude, and all the Chinese people were looking up through the hole like, oh, Ichiban Hulk Hogan, dude. You know, it's not like they were picking up giants. People were 300 pounds and shit like that. It was a little different, but you guys do land on your necks and do crazier shit now. But I'm just impressed. Ricochet was like, fuck it. He's obviously over there seething over Jim's tweets, didn't want the smoke early on, and now is like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just go to war with Jim. It'll get me attention. You know, I don't blame him for defending Will Ospreay, right? They're two little 5-star merchants. They're Dave's little butt dogs. And so, yeah, that's what Ricochet had to say to Jim. He's like, yeah, dude, you guys were all beat up and whatnot. And it's just also the many years of doing it. But Jim Cornette had this to say. Many did, simpleton. Came from taking bumps as pros and getting paid for them. Not getting flung off roofs into parking lots for free as children. Like you and your trampoline friends who claim to be pros but are stealing money from a rich kid to put on your own jackass shows. Now say what you want about either of these takes. Jim is right, is the thing. Like,
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
There's the old adage or the old saying that Vince McMahon as well wouldn't do anything, or he wouldn't tell anyone to do anything that he wouldn't be willing to do himself. Tony Khan isn't willing to do any. I mean, he took a Meltzer driver, okay? He'll take a stunner, or he'll give a stunner to someone, but like, he wouldn't be willing to do any of this shit, and you guys know that. And so Cornette is right. Like, it is a bunch of people marking Tony Khan in for money. I don't care what anyone has to say. You can all cope over that how you'd like. But they're marking him in for money at the end of the day. They wouldn't get away with 90% of the shit that they're doing. Now, back in the day, were there people who threw fireballs and like, was there crazy spots and shit? Yes, bro. But also there was a lot of cheesy punches and shit back then. Like, we saw Dusty Rhodes doing the flip flop and fly on the horseman at our show where he's just doing goofy shit, but they were also up and down the roads way more, dude. Like, you work at the most like 4 or 5 times a month, you know, like 5 times a month, probably on average. Ricochet's like working a match at the most. 4 shows, and then maybe he works Dynamite and Collision. Sometimes those are filmed on the same night. And that's a lot of wrestlers now. Like, at the high level, you're getting paid to be at the high level and preserve your bodies now. Whereas back then, you were getting paid to like beat the ever loving shit out of yourself. I think that's the difference. But at the same, not to pull a fence sit and Phil, but it's like, you know, I've always said it. I don't want to go back to the days where like people could possibly get stretched. I mean, that's always a possibility in wrestling, but like guys had to shoot fight back then too. Some of the dudes who were all beat up that you're talking about had to like get in shoot situations and stuff as well. So I don't know. I think Jim is right though. At the end of the day, I wouldn't even argue. And like, you sound fucking dumb as fuck or whatever King Ricochet said. It's like, bro, you could say that the other way too. You know, it's like you're just arguing with a dude who's like been there and done that and done everything and who doesn't need AEW for money. Like he has nothing to be bitter over. He has nothing to be bitter. It's just that he predicted all of this shit. Now, maybe he predicted AEW was going to go out of business sooner than it would. And a lot of people may have done that, and that's totally fine. But Cornette was spot on about what AEW was going to become because he met with Tony Khan. And he knew if Tony Khan goes with these guys, this is what it's going to turn into. And it's turned into just that, and it's not working. So you can cope all you want and attack Jim all you want. And again, I don't need to sweep for Jim. I've been critical of Jim at times as well, okay? So I'm not trying to glaze Jim here, but it's like you're just either Ricochet just really wants attention or he's just really stupid, and I think it's the attention. Let's see if he responded to this one. Once again, you still sound dumb as shit. Yeah, I don't know. He just wants attention. You sound dumb as shit. It's like, but you can't refute what he's saying. You know, you really can't. And ultimately, this boils down to a debate over the kids trying it at home. I'm for wrestling companies saying, don't try this at home. I am. Just to cover their asses, but for some reason there's no need to do that anymore. Does WWE still do that? I don't think any companies do that. And I wouldn't take anything, no offense, that Ospreay says serious. I wouldn't, him saying, I condone this, bruv, about wrestling. I wouldn't, he's getting fusions and has herniated discs. He's like, should be in the prime right now, making the most money. And he is making the most money because of a money mark. He's making the most money he's ever made to be injured at home. And he got his wife a job because of a money mark. If you can't accept that, you're just lying to yourself. Right. But I guess both things can be true. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a very long and epic AEW news. Ichi Nissan Da for AEW news. And I've also been on Tony Khan. Wow, it's all today. Dude, we have fucking such, I love it. We have sicko wars going on, man. I love it. We're gonna have an epic sicko segment tonight for sure. I'm gonna check in with chat here in just one moment. So we're on Tony Khan watch here. We have a Tony Khan video that we're going to cringe over. It's not very long. He's starting to listen to PWT and take the advice of your boy Phil. Guys, hit like, hit subscribe. You guys can super chat in. And thank you so much for the support. Consider becoming a member. EZR says, for 2, says Conflab Plompson. Oh, that's not very fair. Oh, come on now. That's not very fair. Chat me up about why you call me such a horrific name.
Oh, come on now, Eric.
Is it because I wasn't tanned at fucking Starcade 9-7, Eric? Guys, there's 230 watching across X and YouTube. On the YouTube channel, we're only at 36 likes. We had over 2K watch the last show, like in total throughout the night, and smashed through 100 likes by the time we ended the show. We're at 36 likes. Make sure we get those up to 100. motherfuckers. Okay, so let's get into a segment within a segment, or just its own segment, and it's a weekly thing we do here where we watch some Tony Khan Cringe, and this video was posted as I was ranting and burying him about other shit, but this segment is called The Best Guys Tony Khan. And this one's only 3 minutes, okay? So he's learning. He's listening to PWT. He's learning. Here's Tony. He has like 400. Whenever he's wearing this suit, it's Tony Khan bot. It's Tone bot. Because he has like multiple of these exact same suits. Now, they are drippy, but they look very... It's like toys that were manufactured in a fucking factory or something.
3, 2...
Oh, the countdown! 3, 2, 1, go. No, you don't say the 2 or the 1. It's like Wayne's World. So it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, you don't mouth the 2 or the 1. You just count them. You don't say the 1. You just go live.
3, 2, 1.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve. It's so great to see you all. I'm so excited about this big Thanksgiving week of AEW TV. Just minutes from now, we're going live on TBS.
I love how
and
he
on
goes 3, 2, 1, and then he okay, now we're ready. And then he does like a nod. Okay, now we're ready. Oh, okay, let's go now. I am so excited for AEW. You don't sound like it. You're talking real slow. The guy gave you the countdown so that it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, everybody? AEW Dynamite is coming at you right away, and boy, do we have some crazy matches. I just made this one. Of course, more were announced on our social media, but I'm announcing right here that Kyle Fletcher, again, he just stormed into the office, and whatever the fuck you're going to spiel, I'm sure someone's angry and stormed into his office again, you know? But that's what the countdown was for. High energy, high octane, 60 seconds. You're a billionaire. Pay someone to just take it, throw it into a fucking app or into CapCut or whatever the fuck on their iPhone, and quickly add captions and add like a little pop-up that goes boop of like the wrestlers you're talking about or whatever. Like, you could easily do that. It would be more effective. Just do this an hour earlier. It takes 15 minutes to edit that tops, and then fucking put it up on your socials, and then it has a chance of going viral, Tone.
HBO Max. It's a great Thanksgiving Eve tradition, Wednesday night Dynamite. And it's moments from now, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. I'm going to the chair literally in just a couple of minutes, and I wanted to talk to you about what just happened here in my office. As we were getting ready to start the show, after what has happened.
I didn't watch this before. Again, what's going on in my office? His fucking fake Twitter video storylines are repetitive and hacky as well.
Happened at AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view, which was an incredible event. It's available to order the replay on HBO Max later if you haven't seen it. But we're minutes away from Dynamite tonight. I'm here in Nashville, and moments ago in my office here in Nashville, I was interrupted, of course, after Jon Moxley attacked Kyle O'Reilly, and knowing all the issues between the Death Riders and the conglomeration, you can imagine the conglomeration are very upset. Now, they're very happy on the one hand about Mark Briscoe becoming the TNT champion. They're very happy that tonight the Babes of Wrath have got an opportunity in the semifinals of the World Tag Team Championship tournament. But believe me, the conglomeration are very upset because Kyle O'Reilly was originally set to participate in the Continental Classic, which kicks off tonight. Now, we do have conglomeration.
Oh, man. Okay. So it's always about Fletcher and Moxley. So these things are always just about Fletcher and Moxley.
Representation. And Orange Cassidy is really mad, and he wants a match tonight against the Death Riders. In his block, Jon Moxley's already got a big match tonight against Mascara Dorada. I think it would be fair to say that Mox is embattled right now, and I'm very excited to see what happens when Mascara Dorada, who just retained his world.
Why would you, again, just in kayfabe, it doesn't make sense why you'd put Mox over after he did all of this shit in your company, man. It's so stupid.
Trios Championship at Full Gear.
He just gets rewarded by he's in the Continental Classic. It's so stupid, Tone.
One-on-one versus Mox. And given that Orange Cassidy is in the blue block and Claudio Castagnoli is in the blue block, and knowing that the conglomeration in Orange Cassidy want a match with the Death Riders, I think it's a very, very good idea. Let's add it tonight.
See, I think it's obvious. Did you guys hear that? He was about to say, I think it's obvious.
Want a match with the Death Riders? I think it's a very, very good idea.
I think it's not. I think it's obvious that I should just throw them all in the same block, and because I can't tell a fucking story to save my life. I think it's a very, very good idea. It's great. It's a great idea, in fact.
This is great.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, and this is what I pointed out. So again, if this is clipped in a different clip, when I clip this in a week or whatever, Phil don't miss on this shit. It's very fucking obvious what he's doing here. I pointed it out. It's so obvious that he can't come up with anything creative. So he just stuck a bunch of people. What are the odds they're all in these blocks together with each other? Look at what tone. It's very, not obvious.
Let's add it tonight. Let's add one more Continental Classic match. After Orange Cassidy busted into my office, interrupted my meeting, and it's about as mad as I've ever seen Orange Cassidy. He wants a match with Claudio tonight. He wants a match, Conglomeration versus Death Riders in the Continental Classic. It'll happen tonight, but I can promise you there will be no outside interference. Just like all the C2 matches, this is going to be a great one-on-one match, and it starts just moments from right now on the Superstation TBS and on HBO Max. Turn the show on right now. It's Dynamite. I'm so happy you're joining us on Thanksgiving Eve. God bless you all. And I hope you have a great holiday, and I'll see you moments from now tonight.
Oh my God, Tony Khan, he thinks is tonight. So this is the problem. This is the perfect sign off. Okay. So this isn't a YouTube video, Tone. Okay. So I don't want to get into tricks of the trade, but this isn't like this is just a quick, like, he's taking my advice. He is. He's trying to just be like, boom, 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 quickly turn it on tonight, right now. Let's go. And he always does this thing where he's like, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is minutes from now, go and check it out live on Max, HBO simulcast 8 p.m., which is actually in like 1 minute, but it's tonight. So I'll see you later tonight, actually minutes from now, tonight, AEW Dynamite. So this is like a quick Twitter video. You're not trying to like, you just want to go check it out right now tonight, and then make people go, fuck, let me look up where to, and then just end the video. Okay. Just end the fucking video there. But he does this thing all the time where he's like, thank you, AEW and TikTok. It's like, you just thanked yourself and TikTok. And then in this instance, he's like, go and check it out right now, because it's on in just a few minutes, which is tonight, live tonight. It's like, what are you fucking doing? Buddy?
Just like all the C2 matches, this is going to be a great one right now on the Super. It's going to be a great one-on-one match, and it starts just moments from right now on the Superstation TBS and on HBO Max. Turn the show on right now. It's Dynamite.
Turn the show on right now. It's Dynamite. End the end. That's the end right there. You already went 2 minutes. You already went a minute and a half too long. It should have just been 1 minute to get that point across. Right there. Just end it right there. Nope. He sits there.
TBS
the camera
and on
lady puts
HBO
the
Max.
camera.
Turn the show on right now. It's Dynamite. I'm so happy you're joining us on Thanksgiving Eve. God bless you all. And I hope you have a great holiday, and I'll see you moments from now tonight.
And I'll see you moments from now tonight. And then he's like, we have the best in the business operating my phone cam. It's like, how are they not in rhythm with you and know just when to hit end on that shit? Jesus Christ on a cracker. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the best guys, Tony Khan. We are going to, here, I just need to reshare this here. As Dynamite experiences technical issues. Are any of you guys seeing this? Huh. Okay, now it's back. But yeah, Tony did well there. Only 3 minutes. So let's get into. We have some more news. We have some miscellaneous news, ladies and gentlemen. More miscellaneous news. And Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week live Thursdays on YouTube. Tomorrow it's going to air earlier than 8 p.m. Eastern. But so make sure you tune in for that. And it's going to be an epic one, man. It's going to be such a good one. Dave talks about dishonest grifters and shit. And I just absolutely can't wait for it. It's going to be such a good episode. Hope you guys are all having fun. We have miscellaneous news to get to. And we already went through Phil Marks versus Conrad Thompson, which was epic. And guys, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit retweet if you're over on X. And you guys can super chat in or become a member or gift a membership and get in the Discord. Those are the plugs. Appreciate you guys. Patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes as well. Hopefully that's not too much for your brains. You guys check those out. There's lots of exclusive content. I've been uploading a bunch, and also the full unedited whatever the fuck. If YouTube clips any of this out, if Don Stevens gets mad at us, then it's all on the Patreon version of the live streams as well. So have no fear. Okay, so let's get into some miscellaneous news. Okay, so God damn it, StreamYard keeps fucking losing. Today before the show started, it's like there's all this more new features every fucking time I've turned StreamYard on the last month. It's been like new features, and I'm off. I don't care. Improve your shit, right? But I swear to God, it fucks other things up. And it's like, I don't care about any of this shit. Just make the shit you already have work, and then it's all good. So I don't know. It just told me it lost audio to the fucking browser again. I don't know what's going on. Keeps happening. But we got it under control here at PWT. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for miscellaneous. Not, I accidentally hit the wrong shit, but here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Wrestling's for dirtbags and lily pickers.
So Chaz of the Headbangers says, just like the John Cena Time Is Now tour coming to an end, the infamous run of the Headbangers will be coming to a close next year in Wildwood. More details to come, but if you'd like to get one of the last matches, contact me. So the Headbangers going on one last run in the pro wrestling biz.
Hey everyone, Headbangers here. June of
Thrasher
2026
and Mosh
will be 33 years that we've been together. 33. And with heavy hearts, we're announcing that on Thursday, July 23rd, 2026, ISPW Legends of Wrestling Night, Wildwood Convention Center, Wildwood, New Jersey, will be our last match.
So there you go. Check that out. Shout them out. Big fan of them, and I'm glad they're in the 2K games now. So after further testing, Ridge Holland said that he had 2 collapsed discs in his neck, resulting in nerve impingement. Yesterday, I underwent disc replacement surgery at the hospital for special surgery in Manhattan with Dr. Shiraz Qureshi. The surgery was deemed to be very successful. So good. I hope he heals up, and better news for him as opposed to people just getting fucking angry at him all the time. You know what I mean? Sid's son, Gunnar Udy, is raising money for his first wrestling ring. And happy Thanksgiving Eve, by the way, to everybody, or else Time Cop if you're hearing this later, but if you're in America. And he's doing it all for all the right reasons. Speaking of family and that, it made me, oh yeah, it's Thanksgiving, right? So Sid's son, though, Gunner, he's launched the first annual Psycho Sid Memorial Benefit Show with 100% of profits going to local animal shelters in Crittenden County because that's what his dad loved most. A young man honoring his father through wrestling, charity, and purpose. That's how a legacy is carried forward. That fucking rules. I'm going to like and retweet that. And yeah, hopefully his kid gets into pro wrestling more. And who knows, man? He looks like a big kid, so Psycho Sid fucking ruled. Speaking of psychos, CJ Perry talked about Vince McMahon a little bit. Yeah. And she tells a story that once Trump became president, he sat me and Miro down. He's like, okay, no more politics. He's like, it's too polarizing and controversial.
Vince wrote my promos. He was very, especially
line for line.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Like the Russian stuff, he was absolutely hands-on writing everything. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And they
How
were
does he have time to do all that?
I don't know. I think he was using me as his puppet to talk about America. Because once Trump became president, he sat me and Miro down. He's like, okay, no more politics.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. He was like, it's too polarizing and
I
controversial.
forgot that was that long ago.
Yeah.
2016. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like Obama, he was using me as his puppet.
Yeah.
And I was making global news.
No, Obama came out one time.
Well,
and God.
Yep. And then I would like literally.
He's like, what are you fucking talking about?
Like Vince thought it was the most hysterical thing. Like there's one clip, I'll have to send it to you guys, that I like throw to it, and they cut to Obama working out and like these little 8-pound stuff, and then I'm like, unlike a real man, and I cut to Vladimir Putin, and it's him doing judo and like riding a horse and shirtless.
That's entertaining. That's entertaining.
Yeah.
Fantasy writing, everything.
Oh my God. And so like I understand like Vince just could identify more with Putin because, you know, Vince is he's lifting 650 pounds,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
at
yeah,
75, he's squatting. It's like, you're a maniac.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he wanted Vladimir Putin to come to a show. Like,
Hey, sky's the limit. You know?
yeah. He's like, I hope.
Yeah. Vladimir Poopin. Am I right, fellas? No, but seriously, come to the show. Sit in the front row. You and Don, you can take SmackDown. Trump will take Raw. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Vince was a kooky motherfucker. The foreign heel stuff worked and always works, though. Like, I don't get triggered by that shit. I think it worked when Jinder Mahal did it and Great Khali. It just works for, like, an American-based company. You have a big foreigner come in Japan. They did the shit. They'd have the Americans come in, and they were fucking monsters and feared a lot of them. And I mean, it's always worked. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter where or what era. I mean, people have moved away from that now. And is it for the better? I don't really know. I'm not saying you have to evoke Putin, but I'm for it. Bring back the foreigner heels, dude. Because they could be from anywhere. As long as you give it a good backstory of why they hate America. You could give, or like wherever the fuck they are, you know? You could, as long as you give it the right backstory, I mean, it'll work. But yeah, that is goofy shit, what they did with like Obama and Putin and all this stuff. It was like peak Vince bad WWE. Just out of touch. Eddie Guerrero's daughter, though, in serious news, Kaylee, suffered a gruesome injury after brutal dog attacked her. And I just really hope she's okay. She says she is, but just a brutal dog attack. People, keep your dogs on leashes. Train your dogs correctly. If you have a pit bull, I fucking hate you. No. But like for real, pit bulls are fucking animals. The other day literally, yeah, no doubt, literally animals, but they're just savage, dude. And people are like, it's the owner who has them. I don't know, dude. Literally yesterday as well, there was a story where this girl got mauled to death by 3 pit bulls she was dog sitting for the afternoon. They mauled her to death. She was like 18 or whatever. Or maybe she was older than that, in her early 20s or something, but I forget all of the details. But you can look that shit up. That was floating around like yesterday in the news. And I know it is like, you know, if you drive a car, you could crash it, Phil. So what are you fucking our cars? I get it, right? But God damn it, man, they are psychotic. Like, They fucking maul people and shit. Like, you should have to go through to get like a normal dog. Okay, whatever. Like, anyone can get one. To get a pit bull, you should have to go like a bunch of checks, and there should be like way more checks and bounds than there are. But yeah, so moving along here, we have a bunch of Vince Russo that we're going to get to, but in some sussy-wussy news, there's a bunch of shirtless Japanese guys here on this show called Wednesday Downtown. And this guy's making fun of Kenny Omega or something like that. Kenny Omega reposted it. And it's funny because in these Japanese shows, you guys can see in the top right corner here, I'll show you guys, like how they're on screen almost like these little things. Like that was before, they've been doing that forever on a lot of their TV shows. And that was way before streaming culture was like as prominent as it is, you know? But look at, here's this guy's making fun of Omega. He's like singing about him. Oh, they're all wrestlers. I didn't realize they're all pro wrestlers. Okay. He name dropped Okada in there. I could hear that. Oh man, so they all voted for whoever did the best thing. I love that video so much. We're keeping it in here. Speaking of videos that I may or may not love, here is Stephen Borden Jr. and here's him cutting a promo. We watched him on the last live show. He Can Wrestle, that, or on the member show. Memberships only 99 cents, or gift a membership and support PWT. But this is him after his match cutting a promo, and he looks exactly like his dad. He can wrestle like at a basic level for what he's doing. Let's see if he can cut a promo.
Kieran, it's no secret I took a beating tonight, and you almost ran off with it. But where you went wrong is not when you let me pin you at the end. You went wrong long before you stepped in the ring because you assumed that you were the only one of us who was like a dog with his back against the wall. You said you have everything to lose, and I believe you. But do you really think I have nothing to lose? For every Sting fan that you say is so eager to see what Sting's son does tonight, there's 10 more with their finger on the trigger, ready to pull, ready to say that I'm just another second-generation kid who never should have stepped foot in the business. I'm trying to earn this brick by brick by brick. And so you went wrong by assuming that I had nothing to lose. I have everything to lose. And if we step foot in the ring again, I trust you'll understand that better.
I mean, for early on in his career, he's looking and sounding okay. A little shaky there, a little wobbly, but he'll get it. Dude, could you imagine a faction between like Rhodes, Charlotte Flair, Braun Breaker, Lexus King, maybe not Lexus King, but like Braun Breaker, fucking this kid, Brock Anderson. Like some of these kids getting together and making like a new heel horseman or something. Maybe not Braun, but like Rhodes with him and fucking Brock and Lexus King or something. Like, I don't know, man. Or like Braun Breaker. There's some shit you could do there with that down the line in like 5 to 10 years in WWE. We're going to be looking at Sting's kid. You know, we'll be like one of the top guys in WWE. It's fucking going to be awesome. I really hope Tony Khan doesn't sink his fangs into this kid. This kid, he's like my age, but whatever. So ESPN has ranked the 30 greatest wrestlers under 30. So ESPN ranked, starting from the bottom now, we're here in CMLL, Atlantis Jr., Shota Umino from New Japan, Kalani Jordan in NXT, Axiom in WWE, Kevin Knight AEW, Starlight Kid Stardom. Okay, who wrote this? Did the ESPN writer just ask Grok who are the 30 most hyped up wrestlers on Twitter right now? Or like this year? Megan Bain, Hook, Jack Perry, Garcia, Jordan Grace, Sol Ruka, Mascara Dorada, Saya Kamatani, Sari, Lyra Valkyria, Gabe Kidd, Kaito Kiyomiya, El Hijo del Vikingo, Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Roxanne Perez, Obafemi, Blake Monroe, Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton, MJF, Rhea Ripley, Kyle Fletcher, Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, I think it has to go Dom and Rhea 100% and Tiffy and Braun Breaker over MJF and Fletcher. I would say MJF above Fletcher. I would put Oba way up there as well. And yeah, Slater has to be way up there. So they have to be nice to AEW. And again, the sickos all like Dave Meltzer melted down. Oh, it's going to be the worst thing in journalism history. The biased news, Brian. But they're being incredibly fair to AEW and Stardom and these fucking indies and CMLL. They're being incredibly fair there. So all the doom and gloom is horseshit. I told you guys. I'm glad when ESPN's critical of WWE. Good. Make them deliver you the best fucking show they can. As a fan, when it's like, I was thinking about this a little more today, and I've said this on the show, but I was thinking about it earlier today. I don't give a fuck when WWE announces a $150 billion deal with the Saudis. Give us the best fucking shows. I want to see superstars. Oh, you guys just did a deal with ESPN? I want Brock and Roman and Punk and Johnson. I want to see all those motherfuckers. Oh, they're all on Survivor Series this Saturday? Fucking A. That's what I want, dude. I want to see crazy stage setups. That Saudi mania, they're giving you all that money. I don't care. All I want to see is the best. You better have the best show. You better reinvest all that money into the fucking Sphere then. Do a show at the Sphere. Because it costs so much money, no one wants to fucking do it. WWE comes to mind when I think of who would put on the best show at the fucking Sphere. It'd be WWE. Think about a WWE show with that, all that people's entrances with those fucking, with the Sphere technology and all that. Spend the money on that. I want to see fucking holograms at the Saudi show. I want the stage for WrestleMania to be giant holograms of like Hulk Hogan and shit in the air, in the sky, like moving holograms. And the wrestlers come out and then their entrances, it isn't a video. It's like holographic shit. Fuck yeah, dude. That's what I want to see. Otherwise, I don't care that they're making all this fucking money. You know what I mean? And I don't even remember what made me think of that, to be perfectly honest. But it was just something I was thinking about earlier. So we're going to get into Vince Russo stuff. Oh, what made me think about that is ESPN. I don't give a fuck if they're critical of WWE or if they put AEW shit over. Don't care. Is them being on ESPN mean they got to step their shit way up? Yeah. Yes. It means they cannot get comfy. They could have just stayed comfy doing what they were doing. For some reason, Netflix wasn't even trying to get in on those fucking PLEs. Well, international. It's probably the reason they didn't is probably because international, which is what Netflix is really focused on. All the PLEs are there. Anyways, so I don't know. I don't know how that all works out or what happened behind the scenes, but maybe they were just like, yeah, fuck it, you know? But either way, WWE, they got to step it up because ESPN will be critical of them. And that, to me, that makes it better for us as fans. Lincoln Hawk for 5 says, can't stay tonight. I'm knee deep in Thanksgiving. Bro, I'm surprised 230 people are watching this shit tonight. My Thanksgiving was a month ago. So thank you, Lincoln Hawk, for your support. Thank you for checking in. And everyone have a great Thanksgiving day. Love you, PWT. Lyra's just still terrible. Oh my God. And Eddie Kingston is still useless. Oh my God. He came in here to shoot on me. What the fuck? Show you out, Lincoln. This AEW segment was awful and unnecessary. Yeah, that's the majority of them. Perhaps Swerve should get some more work in. This segment went south quickly. Oh my God, this segment. Chat's melting down about this AEW show. That was stiff. Have fun. Happy holidays. Yeah, happy holidays to all. It was just a beautiful frosty day. Had a lovely walk today in like the misty, frosty, gentle snow. And it's icy in this motherfucker too. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm just enjoying the holiday season. And I can't wait to do the Christmas show, make my Christmas predictions. Okay. There was a multi-writer collab for this list, so I'm getting fact-checked here or what? Awesome. Bane shouldn't even be on this list. Yeah, it just seems like they asked Grok, like, hey, who's popping on Twitter this year? Because Megan Bane has been in like a bunch of stories this year, favorable or not, people putting her over or not, right? We've talked about that last show. So let's get into, I need to fucking, do I have water? Good, I got some ice water here. Everyone hydrate now. Okay, Bro, let me tell you about the pro wrestling business, Bro. I invented I invented the Ariel Helwani show. Ariel, I hand to God, Ariel, hand to God. When I met these marks, Vince Russo was on the Ariel Helwani show, and he basically calls everybody Marks, Bro, and he schools Ariel Helwani on the pro wrestling business. Ariel Helwani going very much the TMZ. Okay, this is what TMZ Inside the Ropes is doing. They're getting Lana on. They're just getting everybody on who will tell crazy stories and shoot on WWE. I predicted this a long time ago, and I told you guys this. Burying WWE is what's going to be fashionable, and the overreaction videos to WWE shit is good. And it's been fashionable because it's the main shit. But the era of like people, it's just, trust me, it don't get as much clicks as like when you're making fun of AEW and shit like this, okay? For sure. Or when you're like rage baiting about like these viral spots from fucking, can you believe Moxley did some dumb shit, and then you react to that or whatever. So when it comes to like the hate, the A-log videos, the hate log videos, whatever you want to call it, it'll be on vogue to like hate on TNA. I was just talking about this earlier. In like 10 years, it won't be cool to hate on AEW. At some point, you're going to go the other way. And so for people like me, it is what it is. I just shoot straight. I'll clip whatever the fuck. I'm going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to talk about all of the shit. I'm going to shoot on it. I'm going to put it over if I like it, because I don't give a fuck. That's just what I want to do with my show, okay? It really boils down to that. I'm not trying to... If I was trying to get just clicks, I would not spend like an hour work clipping and optimizing and getting a video, putting a video on YouTube and making a thumbnail for a video that I know some of these videos about TNA and shit, when I upload them, I know I'm not even gonna even get 1,000 views on them in the first day, but I still fucking do it because not that I'm trying to take a moral high ground, just I know that one day those video people are gonna go, oh fuck, this guy was spitting about this, and like now it's cool to fucking rip on this thing or whatever the fuck, right? Not that I rip on everything, but I do put a lot over as well. But you guys get the point I'm making, right? There's some people who are just like, we're just gonna hate on this one thing, and that's fine too. I don't give a fuck if that's your approach, but a lot of times, like when Dave Meltzer calls people grifters, these sickos call you a fucking grifter, when it's like, you can't call me that. I have plenty of videos with doom and gloom WWE rage bait titles as well, okay? Just because they don't do as well, just because they don't blow up as well as the other ones, or whatever the fuck, those tweets don't do as well when I'm slapping SmackDown around. And I've said this before, it doesn't mean I'm not doing it. You motherfuckers just pick and choose what to look at, you know, and that's your own goddamn problem. But again, the point I'm getting at is you can't hate the player, though. You got to hate the game, and everybody's just playing the game. So I'm not even mad at Brian Alvarez when he puts. I want Dave and Brian to put out faux outrage and stupid ass take clips, because then I can react to them, and then I get an amazing show. I want Vince Russo to go and do these salacious interviews that Ariel's doing now. And some people are getting mad at Ariel, is the point that I'm circling back to, taking the long route there. But Ariel has been having people on that are sort of like burying WWE, and that's sort of like the on vogue thing to do for ex WWE guys. If you work there, you bury WWE, people are still going to click on that. You know, that's something that's hot ever since the Shoot interview days. That's how Jim Cornette's podcast got so popular. Those Sean Oliver videos, the RF videos, Paul London and Kendrick, the old Click videos, the Shoot interviews. That's what's hot. And also it's hot if like AEW wrestlers talk shit about WWE. But if AEW wrestlers are just talking about AEW, no one wants to hear that. But if like me or Bischoff or Jim Cornette or whoever are talking about AEW, people want to hear about it. You guys know what I'm saying? You get the picture. Each fucking thing is different here. Okay? So if Cornette's burying AEW, people click on it. If like, or even if Eric Bischoff's reviewing an AEW show, let's even just say it like that, people want to click on that. If Kyle O'Reilly's reviewing an AEW thing with Aubrey Edwards, they get 67 clicks, and I'm not even exaggerating. You know? So you can't hate the player. You got to hate the game. People play the game differently. It is what it is. Vince Russo's one of these guys who has set himself in the camp of like, fuck WWE, bro, and also fuck AEW. But let's be honest, he gets attention for rage baiting people by trashing WWE. Okay? And Vince Russo keeps it real here and triggered a bunch of people again with his Ariel Helwani interview. Some people are like, who even listens to this bum? I don't know. I think that Vince Russo has some validity behind him. Like, he worked for two of the biggest wrestling companies of all time. Now it's TNA as well, but it's obvious he needs a fucking filter. Like, if he doesn't have a creative filter, he's the shits. But if he can write down a bunch of shitty ideas and then have a Vince McMahon go over them and go, yeah, this might work, or we can improve this idea or whatever. It seems like Vince Russo can be effective. I think that's pretty obvious at this point, right? Like, when he's allowed to do, when he has free reign in TNA or WCW, it's the absolute shits. When he has free reign when he has free reign to pitch ideas against someone who knows how to get shit over like Vince McMahon, then it's good shit, pal. Maybe you can learn something from everybody. I believe that. And I'm not mad at, again, Ariel Helwani for interviewing guys who want to shit on WWE. I don't give a fuck. People think I just shit on everything. I just went over a list of how I shit on everything, right? So, or a rant, I guess. The point I'm making is that don't be mad at Ariel for just interviewing the people that are going to get him clicks. Now, is it obvious with TMZ inside the ring or ropes or whatever and what Ariel Helwani's doing? Yes. Is it funny that Ariel Helwani did just the MMA thing for a while? It didn't pan out the way he thought. Now he's like, well, fucking wrestling's really popular. Yeah, it's pretty funny. And it's further proof that wrestling is way more popular than people want to give it credit for these days. Like, a lot of people are like black-pilled on wrestling and they're like, oh, it's just all dead. It's all doom and gloom. No one cares. And Vince Russo sort of has that approach, but then he'll take a job with JCW. It's just so funny. He'll take a job with the Juggalos. Because why? They'll let him do whatever the fuck. They'll let him just write the shows. No one there's going to edit the shows better than, I'm sure people could edit the shows better than him, but nobody's gonna edit him while he's there. And that's why I wrote 9 episodes, bro. I wrote 9 of them, bro. And it's pretty funny that he's critical of these other companies when he's in a literal clown fed. Now, I'm not even shitting on JCW or Juggalos or none of that. And I actually like that Vince Russo's in the wrestling business in some indie capacity. Like, this is what he should be doing. Because if all this shit he talks, if he's right, then let's see it. Let's see these indie shows. Take him to the next level, Vince. If everyone gets out of your way and leaves you to your own devices, or are you going to leave that fed after they fire you after these 9 episodes, and then you're going to bury them too? I wonder. But either way, Vince Russo was on Ariel Helwani. We have a bunch of clips. I can't wait. It's not as long as the Tony Khan interview. Like, we're not going over just the stuff that I thought was compelling. So he talks about Triple H and Tony Khan, and he compares them and them going head to head. He gives all of his takes. Let's react to these. Barrow, it's Vince Russo. Barrow, let's drive Jim Cornette mad. If Mrs. Corny's out there listening in, you guys are, switch it off now. Here's your warning. Switch it off now. And let's get into this. Here's his take on the whole Triple H versus Tony Khan thing.
By the way, it's I enjoy all the wrestling content, the YouTube channels and all this stuff. And I do believe, if I'm getting this right, you, Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette, probably not, going on a dinner date or the best of friends, but you all agree as far as your criticisms towards Tony Khan and AEW. There is something to that, right? Like, it seems like a lot of the old guard, if you will, and I say that with the utmost respect, all are preaching for him to make changes. Do you think he pays attention to any of you? Do you think he listens to any of this?
Ariel, let me tell you basically what the problem is. And this is the problem with wrestling in general. This is the problem with the WWE. This is the problem with AEW. They only want to hear the positive. They don't want to hear people like Vince Russo and those other people you mentioned. That's why I'm with JCW, because Violent J wanted to know, Vince, what do we have to do here? Here's the problem. Triple H and Tony Khan are writing a wrestling show.
See, here's the thing. A wrestling show, Barrow. I don't think WWE don't want to hear the negative. In fact, they do things specifically to get them in the line of fire. They know it's going to cut. Like, they bring Brock Lesnar back. They know that they're going to see and hear the negative. I think they embrace that at some points because they have a bigger picture. And for the most part, I mean, maybe they don't want to hear negative as far as like if you're just being a negative Nancy all the time. But I think that Vince Russo sort of fabricates reasons to get upset at WWE. Like, WWE does the most fan service, and they give you the best production, and they give you the superstars you want to see, and they are trying their ass off to tell stories. I think Vince Russo admits throughout a lot of this that he doesn't watch any of this shit, but he's talking about how bad it is. And he's like, the problem, bro, and then he looks at just the Netflix numbers, but it's this boomer shit of like, bro, you got to understand, it's the whole package, the streaming, the impressions on each social media platform, the fucking Netflix mixed with the international, the US, the fucking replayability factor, the houses, the attendance. Like, when you look at all of those things, it's like wrestling's pretty fucking hot. Linear TV, if anything, all this shit proves is linear TV, like, watching shit on USA or whatever the fuck, old school pre-cord cutter TV is dying. I mean, that's the key thing you can point to, whether it comes to any show, really, other than live fucking sports. But now the live sports are going to streaming. Why? Because they will get more fucking people that way, because even they're ready to say fuck it.
Triple H and Tony Khan are writing a wrestling show that they like. And by writing a wrestling show that they like, they have turned the audience into a niche audience, because there's only a niche audience that likes 90% wrestling. It's not about what they like. When I write for JCW, I'm not writing a Vince Russo show. I'm writing a show for the masses. I'm writing a show for the world. These guys are writing a show.
Yeah, that's what WWE's doing, bro. They're writing a show that's for the masses, and that's why they have a bunch of the most casual viewers, and that's why they have the highest paying ticket, people who want to go see it, people paying the highest prices for tickets and shit right now. Like, that's why they're doing that, because they're writing it for the masses, for people who want to spend money. Okay,
show that they like, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you like. It's not about you. We all have different tastes. It's subjective. You want to write a show that's going to get you as many eyeballs as possible. And what that means, Ariel, is you need to have a little bit of everything. That's what the Attitude Era was. We had something for everybody. By doing that, now you open up your window. Now you allow your
Yeah, so again, he gives these like fake criticisms to WWE. He blanket puts that across like AEW and WWE. And a lot of people have called him out, like people who know him have called him out for this. Like, bro, no, that doesn't make sense. Like, okay, some of your criticisms of WWE are fair. And even if people want to say Triple H is a bit of a mark for himself these days, still to this day, sure. But at the same time, like, what is he doing on the show? That's what Triple H wants to see. That isn't like translating to all these fucking houses where they're doing, like, look at the numbers they're doing for Raws. Has SmackDown been a little lackluster? Yeah. Have they been trying to turn that around? Big time.
Yourself to let people come in to watch a wrestling show that
would
would
like there's not a bit of everything. There's a bit of everything in WWE. There for surely is. Now, if you want to talk about the hardcore, like the blood and gut stuff, there's more of that in AEW. But every fucking WWE show, someone goes through an announce table or there's a fucking table spot or something. It feels like someone gets caned or something. So there's a little bit of that, but yeah, it's also not the Attitude Era. And just like when people bring up the territory days and shit, it's not the fucking territory days. It just doesn't work that way, you know? Other than, I guess, I don't know, WWE's more old school in like the way they've been storytelling lately, I would say. Like, it's just a fresh coat of paint on, like what Drew and Punk were doing. People are like, oh, they're fighting over beads. It's like, bro, yeah, they got heat over beads. Like, think about that's genius. You know what I mean? You guys cheer when Jericho wrestled Orange Cassidy in a fucking mimosa vat, in a fucking pool filled with orange juice. And like, oh, a little bit of it's like champagne and shit, and they're wrestling over that. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, Jericho got the little bit of the bubbly thing over. You know, they got these beads over, but in a serious matter where it was like if you were watching a movie, the beads it was intense, and that's really good storytelling, and that feels old school to me. That feels very old school, like, how dare you? And when you accidentally hit the ropes and my manager fell off the ropes, you know, like just a little thing that happens that triggers this tremendous heat and feud, and they drew with it, you know? So that's why it fucking worked. And I'm going all over the place here, but ultimately WWE's making us care about these fucking characters and stories. That's number one, what you got to do on the TV show. When Vince Russo was around, and I don't know what he was responsible for. He takes credit for all the good shit. Stone Cold and The Rock, Barrow, and DX. I invented it all, but wasn't there like people giving birth to hands and like HLA and people barking like dogs for Vince McMahon and all this shit? Like, there was a lot of other shit as well. That was that for everybody, or was that just for like dudes and party chicks? And when wrestling was at its peak in the Attitude Era, you could argue, right? And it's like he was there, he left WWE, then went there for the dying days of WCW. There's a lot of garbage going on there too. I mean, it's easy for him to fucking just say this when you're on an indie that isn't competing in the picture with either of these shows. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe he'll turn JCW.
Never
around.
watched wrestling before. Tony Khan is writing a show that he loves, but it doesn't matter what he loves. What does the world want? There are millions of casual wrestling fans out there not watching wrestling anymore. And again, I'm going to go back to JCW. That's why I'm here, because they understood that. And Violent J knew we've got to go above and beyond those that watch wrestling on a weekly basis. There's an entire world out there that's not watching anymore.
Yeah, and so what WWE is doing, and again, I'm not even trying to do a WWE glaze sesh, but let's just be honest. What WWE is doing is just that. They're slowly spreading out. We see it in all the sports again, all the celebrities. Everybody fucking loves WWE. They're slowly spreading out with some of these sponsors, getting them in areas, letting wrestlers go to Hollywood more frequently in film shows and movies, way more than Vince McMahon. You know, Vince McMahon held a bunch of people back, man. And they're letting it become cool and mainstream again. That's what they're doing right now, and that's why there's more and more wrestling fans, and that's why the indies are hot again. More and more people are getting into it, you know, and I think we have to credit that to WWE. We just have to. It got cool again, and they figured out ways to expand upon that, whereas AEW feels like, honestly, it's stuck in the 2010s. When I watch it, I'm like, yeah, this shit was cool in the 2010s on indie shows and shit, for the most part. Okay, they're talking about tits and all of that with Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa right now. So again, maybe that's more of the sexiness. Maybe that's the attitude era, bro, that you miss, Vince Russo. But yeah, I think WWE is doing a good job of reaching these people. We're not seeing tremendous growth right off the rip, but I just think you can look at the attendances, look at the social media, when you look at everything in one bubble, dude, they're crushing it on all fronts, comparable to anybody else and what they were doing when Vince was at the helm. So anyways, let's move along. That was the first clip. So Vince Russo talks about the first time he honestly enjoyed WWE.
What is your take on the current state of WWE? Are you watching it unlike AEW? Are you keeping up to speed with it?
I keep up to speed with it, but Ariel, you're going to laugh because I'm about to hit my 65th birthday.
Okay.
And when as I go into my 65th birthday, I made the decision I am not going to sit there.
Guys, let me check. Sorry, we have chat here. We have a couple super chats. Let me just check these here. So Cash Monet gifts a fucking membership. Let's go. Thank you so much. You, whoever got that, thank Cash Monet and enjoy the member Mondays. They rule. JD MC 5510 for 5 says, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Stacked weekend, rivalry weekend for college football, Survivor Series 10 the weekend. Hope everybody stays safe. You too. God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for your support, dude. And yeah, man, Survivor Series, we're going to be watching it together. It's going to be awesome. And
acknowledge me.
We have a bunch of this Vince Russo to get through. Everyone, round of applause for Cash Monet and JD. So Vince Russo, he continues about the last time he honestly enjoyed WWE.
Every Monday night and every Thursday night and watch those shows in their entirety. And you want to know why? Here's why. I consider myself a casual television viewer. They have not earned my viewing. It's that simple. It goes back to Vince McMahon. If it's good, they'll watch it. For me and my taste and what I look for in a wrestling show, WWE and the product they're putting out right now does not interest me one iota. I keep my finger on the pulse. I need to know what's going on because I've been podcasting for 10 years now with Russo's brand. So I got to know what's going on. But the days of sitting through 5 hours, 6 hours of wrestling a week, those days are over.
And so did you feel this way for the last couple of years? Like,
so he's not watching anything, but he's super critical and has all these takes on how people are booking.
Since Triple H took over, because from afar, it seemed like the Bloodline stuff, the Cody stuff, like a lot of this was getting love and praise. Were you not even feeling it at that point either, once he took over from Vince?
Yeah, Ariel, I was not feeling it at that point because I am a writer.
Vince Russo's trying to work his way into a job. He's been making up lies. John Cena's talked to Tony Khan. You know, he's just making up these lies and rumors because he's trying to get TKO to bite on one of these rumors. He wants some executive. He wants some Niccolo Piccolo guy to hit the fucking panic button or something and buy into this bullshit and hire Vince Russo back in TKO because it's really out of the McMahon-Helmsley control at this point. It's just it's bigger than them, but yeah.
Looking at this as a writer. So I am looking for characters. I am looking for storyline. That's what I'm looking for. And man,
you won't find it if you don't watch the show.
It's been much longer than that. I can't tell you when I honestly did enjoy the WWE. And again, I want to be clear. That's my opinion.
Sure,
sure. This is subjective. That's the way I look at it. I'm looking for the entertainment aspect. And everything in wrestling it's all about the match. And every storyline is, oh, I want to wrestle you because I'm better than you, or I want to be the next champion. People are bumping into each other in the back and making matches. That's not storytelling.
Yeah, so I mean, in WWE, they get criticized about them not doing that. Like, it's not about the match. So again, Russo's just talking out of his ass.
I want storytelling. I want characters, and that's why I am pushing everybody to GCW, man. We got a new show every Thursday.
GCW. Isn't it JCW?
Tonight at 7 o'clock, you are going to see characters. You are going to see storylines. I hear so many people tell me, Vince, what happened when wrestling was like the Attitude Era? I'll tell you what happened. They went back to wrestling. So people that weren't into wrestling stopped watching the show. This is a show, JCW, that once again is going to be for everybody, whether you're a wrestling fan or not.
I just don't believe that. I have a real hard time believing that, buddy. So I think he gets asked about if he watches AEW. So listen, dude, he explains why he doesn't even watch AEW. So he doesn't watch any of this shit, but he's just talking shit about it. Yeah, you know what, Ariel? Why the fuck did you have this guy on? No, it's funny. I get to clown it now. So anyway,
I'll never forget the most important thing Vince McMahon said to me, because a lot of times today, Ariel, you'll get a weak number, and here come the excuses. This was on, and that was on, and this was on. I remember Vince McMahon.
Shout out the Ariel Helwani show, The Boys in the Back, and Uncrowned, and all that. Make sure you go check all of these shows out.
Man said to me, Vince, if it's good, they'll watch it. Period. End of story. I don't care what's on the other channels. It means nothing to me. If you have a good product, they will watch it.
Is the AEW product good in your opinion?
Ariel, I watched the first 15 months of AEW. I watched it out of the gate because I wanted to give it a shot. And after 15 months, I remember this clearly. I turned 60 years old in January 5 years ago. And when I hit that point, I was like, you know what? I'm 60 now. I'm towards the tail end. I cannot waste any more of my time. And in the year and a half or 15 months that I watched AEW, they just did not hook me. And quite frankly, I stopped watching when I turned 60. I'm going on 5 years now where I haven't watched the product. And again, what that comes down to is I gave them 15 months.
So what? So here's my whole thing is like, I don't even think Rhodes left the company then. So we didn't even see when CM Punk joined the company and they got like a second life out of nowhere. Right. And they were trying to make things happen. And even when Punk got suspended or whatever, he comes back, or he's hurt or whatever, he comes back, they start Collision and give him his own show. And I'm not saying it was doing like 1 million viewers and shit, but people were like, okay, we got a show with Joe, Punk, FTR. Okay, maybe Collision starts beating Dynamite in the ratings. Like, even that gave them like a second or third wind of like, okay, you have something here. Let's go. Saturday Night Wrestling, let's fucking make something happen here. And we saw it, like WWE got back into the market for Saturday Night Wrestling not too long after that. Or when did they start doing Saturday Night Main Event again? It was after Collision, right? So, and people sort of clown that, but I think it's been successful for them. And their PLEs take place on Saturdays and shit. A lot of people, that's when they do PLEs now and shit. So the point I'm getting at is
them 15 months, and in that 15
this motherfucker ain't watching any of the second wins that they've had put under their sails, where they had people gave them chances after they may have given up already. Okay, Punk's here, maybe I'll give it this second chance. They do a 1.2 million in the rating or whatever the fuck, and then all of a sudden Rampage is dead and all this shit. So Vince really didn't even see any of that. So I'm actually going to defend Tone a little bit here. And like, yes, I mean, the discourse online, if you just watch the clips and you gave up on it and you are like confident it's a shit show, then that's cool. That's your prerogative. But he's very vocal about a bunch of shit he ain't even watching. And then he's just blanket criticizing AEW and WWE as the same, as if they're anything alike in their approach to anything. It's actually bonkers what he's doing. This is old grifting. Okay, I got Vince. Didn't you fucking quit watching wrestling not that long ago? Dave Meltzer should be way more madder at this motherfucker. Okay.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. Boom.
Like, wouldn't this be the grift? He's not even watching any of the shit. At least I watch it and formulate a fucking opinion.
months as a television viewer, they did not hook me.
What did they do wrong? What were they not getting? Why were they not hooking you?
Wrestling. I am not a wrestling guy, Ariel. I am a entertainment guy. I am a storyline guy. I am a character guy. And it was for me, and this is for me, some people love it. For me, it was just way too much wrestling.
So imagine you're like one of the sickos who likes JCW and you're like, fuck, it's just going to be storylines. Less wrestling. All he's preaching is less wrestling. So the sickos are going to turn on this shit and they're going to start hating on JCW, especially if JCW starts becoming more successful. I'm telling you right now, the sickos are going to turn on this shit because of Vince's approach to it, and it'll be more story-based. And then what's going to happen is all the wackos are going to hate him because he shit on WWE as if it were AEW this whole time in order to get over whatever his idea of wrestling is that we're about to see play out in JCW. So Vince Russo, he had a take on why WWE counter-programs AEW. Let's check this out.
You say that you don't believe that WWE views AEW as competition, yet they do actively counter-program them. And so why do you think they do that? I mean, it's not a coincidence, right, that they're popping up on the same days as their big shows. So why do you think they do that?
I think they do that to F with them. I think they do that because they can. And there's a lot of that involved in wrestling. There's a lot of showmanship involved in wrestling. And listen, man, here's the bottom line. If they can do that, then Tony Khan can do the same exact thing. Wrestling games have been going on forever. You know, I remember when Nitro was beating us and we drove a tank to their building. This wrestling wars have been going on forever. But I really do believe that the picture for the WWE is just much, much bigger than AEW being competition.
Do you think that part of the reason, or I guess a byproduct of them doing this, it's sort of like, you know, rising tide lifts all boats? In those days that you're referring to, around 10 or so million people were watching wrestling on a Monday night, 6 here, 4 here, 7, 3, whatever it is. And do you think that this just kind of helps everyone? Or do you think that ultimately this will kill AEW? This will hurt them to the point where no one is watching them?
Well,
see, Ariel asking good questions. I mean, if I can, I'm with it. I'm with Russo answering questions like this. I mean, he has some experience in the TV business and whatnot. So
it will kill you if you allow it to kill you.
It will only kill you if you let it kill you. Just a non-answer.
You know, obviously, Tony Khan is in charge of his company. And I'm going to tell you this, and I could tell you this based on experience. If you have a good product, if you have good television, if you have good stories, if you have good characters, people are going to watch. And that really is the bottom line, man. You have to have a good show. I'll never forget the most important thing Vince McMahon said to me, because a lot of times today, Ariel, you'll get a week number And here come the excuses. This was on and that was on and this was on this. I remember Vince McMahon said to me, Vince, if it's good, they'll watch it. Period. End of story. I don't care what's on the other channels.
So true. It's so true. If there's one person I don't like, so Vince Russo
who do you
talks about people he doesn't like. Actually, well, I think he's got more on the whole war here. So he talks about WWE and sort of he just was critical of AEW. Now he's going to be critical of WWE.
When you're the WWE and you're doing less than 1 million viewers on SmackDown, I'm sorry, Ariel. Somebody needs to be fired.
I toe the line with that. I do think that that is not a good sign. I do think that it's further proof that cable and shit is dying, whatever the fuck USA's on. People just aren't watching TV the way they used to. But when, you know, it's like, okay, the World Series, the Halloween mixed with a lot of people go, I just watch everything on their YouTube channel now. There's lots of people who say that, and for AEW as well. There's lots of people who will just watch the clips. Like if you just watch the clips, you'll know what's happening in AEW. Then you don't have to watch the long, boring matches and some of the cringe stuff. And everybody knows that. We all know that in chat. A lot of people just react to even Vince Russo himself giving this interview. He's not watching everything. He's not watching it all the time. He's not even watching Dynamite every week. And the only thing he knows about AEW, Jeff Lane sends him clips, I'm sure, right? So here's his take on, I guess.
I told Vince when Vince brought me in as the head writer, I said to Vince, if I don't deliver you ratings, I expect to be fired. Because if I don't raise these ratings, I am not doing my job. If I'm not doing my job, I shouldn't have the job. When the WWE is going under
here's the thing, though. It went under 1 million once. Like, I'm pretty sure it's over 1 million. There's an element of like it internationally. Now we are talking about just the US number, but internationally it's always in the top 10 in Netflix, in Canada, and all of these other places post all like Raw, SmackDown, they're in the top 10 in these different countries and regions and shit. So I just wouldn't be too worried about it. But again, USA is looking for good partners, but they have a good partnership like that Braun Strowman show as well. He uses his name Braun Strowman, and someone pointed out it was produced by WWE. And I told you guys, he didn't think he was doing that show. For sure, he did not think he was getting cut or whatever when that happened the last time here. So, I mean, that's doing ratings. They have a good relationship with WWE, so I don't think they're too worried about it falling under 1 million on that one night in particular. But if you want to talk overall, okay, SmackDown hasn't been as hot as Raw either, and you can see that in the ratings and the attendance, and it doesn't mean it's doom and gloom for WWE. It doesn't mean it's even clownable. Like, it's not funny. It's not like, haha, them. It's just like, okay, they need to get that together. Now, if it's becomes a point where Triple H starts like coping, like WWE wrestlers just start talking about AEW for the next 2 years, and then Triple H is like, oh, that four-eyed fuck. What a Jeffrey Epstein that Tony Khan is over there. Like, if he starts doing shit like that and they're on the decline while AEW starts surging into their best business ever, okay, then it'll be clownable. I'll be the first one to laugh at that shit. Trust me, I'll be the first in line to make fun of that shit. Best believe. But the thing is like, that's not what's happening. So relax. SmackDown's fine. And if you want to compare it, okay, Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown's been the worst show. It's doing their worst shit. Step it up on SmackDown. Hopefully this means Triple H reacts to this by let's put on great SmackDowns. Maybe Friday's not the best day for them. They've moved SmackDown around in the past. I think it's good, though. I don't think they should move it. I like Friday Night SmackDown, but Yeah, I said that when they moved from Thursdays too. Back in the Ruthless Aggression era, they were on Thursdays, I believe, right? And then they moved it to Friday. Either way,
million viewers. Come on, man. Something really, really wrong is going on. When you're the
but he's not wrong about that. I do agree. Like SmackDown, step your shit up, whatever's going on that show. But maybe people just view SmackDown as like, well, it's the B show, so we're not gonna go out of our way to support it as hard. Whatever the fucking explanation is, I will just say SmackDowns are they're not as fun as Raws, let's be honest, especially lately. Holy fuck, have there been even this last Raw with the midget Cena that came out, that shit was funny. And I know Dave Meltzer melted down about that. It's just old heel fucking, it's just like Dave Meltzer's all like, oh, it's so distasteful to do this. Yeah, that's like the point, man. Dom's a piece of shit. Like, that is the point. He's a scumbag. They need to up the scumbaggery of him. And how do you do that? He's building to a match with Cena. Cena can't be there. It's his final tour, his retirement tour. You do a swerve where they play the music, but then it's not him. I mean, that's awesome heat on Dom. Dom is so fucking over with everybody, and you either hate his guts and detest him, or you're in love with him. And the younger audience loves Dom for some reason. He's a piece of shit, and they're so into him. But the older fans are booing him for his old school heel shit. I think it's funny. And it's like lowbrow, dirty heel shit, but that's what he is. That's what he's supposed to do. He's the guy who slaps his own dad in the face. Like, he's the lowest of the low. Okay. He's gonna kick a midget or whatever. It's just like someone popping out of a cake at a wedding. You know what I mean? Like a wrestling wedding going awry. Every now and then you bring a midget to make fun of your opponent and you beat him up. Like, okay, it's just been done. It's gonna be done again. And yeah, I don't know, dude. Don't be sizist, okay? Miniatures, the minis deserve a chance too. And WWE uses them in AAA. Fucking don't start virtue signaling, Dave. Anyways, this is what Vince had to say about the competition between the two companies.
There's so much that I want to ask you about, and you mentioned TNA, and I feel like TNA as of late is enjoying a bit of a renaissance, if you will. Like, it seemed like they were like 5 feet under, not quite 6, but it was about to be over. And now with this relationship with WWE, it seems like they're on the upswing. What do you are so closely linked to that organization towards the tail end of your run. You had that great run. You're getting over 1 million views on Spike TV. To see where they're at now, did you ever expect this? Did you ever think that they'd be around heading into 2026?
Yeah, we actually had TNA up to 2 million viewers. I mean, that's the point that we got it up to. And like you said, Spike TV, Spike wasn't a huge network.
And again, I don't know how much Vince Russo had to do with that. And it didn't matter that if Vince Russo went to WCW or not, WCW was going out of business when it did. They just got out of the wrestling business. It's been documented, right? It's pretty well known that they were just, we're getting out of this wrestling shit. And they sold it on the very, very cheap. There's even conspiracy theories that people were tipped off so that Vince could slide in and get it on the very, very cheap. And whatever you choose to believe, or, whatever truth you choose to call your own, I think it's pretty objective to just say, if you look at the information out there, WCW was going away. So Vince Russo coming in or not, whether it was going to help it or not, didn't even matter. He was there during the most successful era of WWE as far as like the Attitude Era or the Monday Night Wars are concerned, right? He was in the peak there. And then he was a part of TNA when they were doing some good ratings. So say what you will about Vince, but I think if you partner him with someone who he doesn't feel will, and this is really whack that you have to do this with people in the entertainment world, And the old school wrestling guys don't really understand this as much because they're all about, well, you do the fucking job for, or whatever, right? Like you lay down, you put who's over, like they're old school. You lay down for a guy, you got to put your ego to the side in many ways in that regard. But when it comes to like writers, Barreau, and like I've dealt with tons of these people in my time where it's very much you got to tiptoe around egos, and everyone's ideas are great. But if we did this and this, I think that blah, blah, blah. And it's really kind of your idea, even though my idea had to fucking make your shit idea. That's why Jim Cornette's so frustrated. I get it. I understand where he's coming from, right? Maybe not in the booking and writing pro wrestling, but there's obviously, it's like a movie. It's like a dance, right? It's like ballet. We all understand this. And so, Vince's creativity has obviously been effective in many ways that you can look at, you can quantify it and like, well, look at ratings and shit, but also how much of that was Hulk Hogan being there and shit. I mean, it all, you could break it down many ways, but he is valuable. And I do think he could spit a bunch of good ideas. And if you made him think your better version of his idea was his idea, mostly, you could get some gold out of him. I'm sure Vince McMahon was a master of doing shit like that. Or maybe Vince Russo was intimidated by Vince McMahon and that's why he just dipped out and like didn't call him or whatever.
So I feel that was a great accomplishment. But again, man, you know, they hung in there for so long, and that's what was important. So they hung in there long.
Yeah, and in chat, it's Anthony points out, I think, right? Anthony says that the people were chanting "Fire Russo" for some of that shit. So it's like Vince was there, and he took a lot of the fucking heat for, because there are people who said that was because of Dixie Carter too. Like, and yes, everyone was mad at her, but people were like, he wouldn't have had that chant. Like, he was actually doing some of the good stuff, but they wanted him out because he's the scapegoat, and they blamed him, and he was the scapegoat for Dixie Carter. There's some wrestlers who were there at the time who maintained that position too. So it's interesting to think about, but yeah, I'm with you there, dude. It's like, how much of this Vince Russo, or how much of that 2 million viewers was like Kurt Angle and Hulk Hogan showing up and all of that shit that was going on at that time, you know? You can take credit for that, but he's like, we got it up to that. And it's like, or was it the influx of all this new people that came into TNA that people wanted to see? Kind of like in AEW, it's like, well, everyone wants to see Punk, and he shows up, so they get 1.4 million tune in that night or whatever. You know, it's not like they built it up to that. It's like Punk came in and blessed them with that, and then it's their job to maintain it. So did you just do a bad job of maintaining that, or did you help get TNA up to that? I'm curious, because he was with the company for who knows how long, behind the scenes secretly, man. And that's a whole other story too. That's a whole other deep dive right there.
Enough to make the WWE connection, and obviously that has helped them with their popularity.
Why do you think WWE is doing this, having this business relationship with them?
Man, listen, the WWE is global. The bigger, the better. And I think that's the way they look at it. You know, there are some people look at it that they're personally doing this against AEW. Listen, having worked there, I don't believe that. I don't believe the WWE is really looking at AEW as competition. I just believe, man, they are trying to build a global empire, and, acquiring, TNA is just part of that plan.
Yeah, and even if it's not acquiring all the wrestling companies, because I'm sure that WWE and some of the people who are sickos or wackos in WWE, like Nick Khan, the best guy is Nick Khan. Guys like Nick Khan understand the value in, like, there have to be people out there with like no ties or that we don't have ownership over, but we can play nice with and shit. Right? You're going to learn things from some of these companies. Like, they don't need to own GCW. GCW can do whatever the fuck they want, but just working with them will benefit WWE. But I'm sure that they understand having companies that aren't just like full-fledged WWE. There's benefits to that. But one thing they are trying to do that Niccolo Piccolo has pointed out so brilliantly on X multiple times, they want the global enterprise as far as like, they want every form of media. They want a WWE show on every form of media that there is. So they want to make sure that they're dominating the YouTube game, the TikTok game, the network TV game on USA, on Netflix. They want to have their fingerprint everywhere in that regard, but they also want to have their fingerprint everywhere as far as we're on Disney, we're on CBS, we have a deal over here with NBC, we have fucking, I think that's what they're trying to do as well. And that means Warner Brothers. And as Snoop Dogg would say, as Jamie Kennedy would say, you better warn a brother. Tony Khan is who I'm talking about. Someone better warn him because they are going to backdoor Scoop with the sale of WBD. They're going to backdoor bully. No Diddy. They're going to backdoor bully Tony Khan and AEW off of Warner Bros. At least. Now, will AEW die? No, I don't think so, but I just totally see them trying to take that angle, especially if Netflix swoops in and gets it. They're already in business with WWE and stuff like that. I just think they'll, or if the Saudis get involved, man, they want the biggest and the best, and they will, this is what they'll want. We'll just buy AEW and just get all of their best wrestlers. Oh, we own 5% of this? And Edge is there. Turkey Al Sheikh's like, quick, get me on phone with Edge. You know, we own 5%. Now we own 500%. Send money now. Right? Like, that's all that'll happen. They're going to be like, what? We want Edge and John Cena. Final match in Saudi Arabia, WrestleMania. We never got that one, right? Like, that's all it'll fucking turn into, dude. Turkey Al Sheikh will fucking just take care of that shit. So who knows, man? But it's interesting. But yeah, they're just slapping Tone around a little bit. They are just slapping Tony Khan around a little bit. And speaking of getting slapped around, you know, typically Eric Bischoff and Jim Cornette typically are the ones who slap Vince Russo around, right? Well, in this instance, Vince Russo gets his revenge. So he comments on Eric Bischoff and Jim Cornette. And when Maven asked him about Jim Cornette, he kind of just made a joke about it and kept it moving and won't comment on it. And maybe because he just doesn't want to deal with it. There's so much content of them fighting and arguing back and forth. If they did it now, I mean, it would still be funny. I'm sure we're going to hear Jim Cornette's reaction to Vince Russo's interview on Ariel Helwani. I'm willing to bet we see Jim Cornette appear on Ariel Helwani at some point. But and maybe not. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but I could totally see that happening, especially after Jimbo, and I don't know if he has yet, or this happened today, actually. So especially when Jim reacts to this, he's obviously going to listen to clips of Vince Russo on Ariel Helwani and respond to them. And he's been kind of dip, dive, ducking, and dodging the Jim Cornette thing, but he does kind of go hard on Eric Bischoff here, and he does comment on Jim Cornette. So this is Vince Russo's thoughts on Eric Bischoff, who he deems like the absolute worst guy, like even worse than Cornette. Bischoff's the one guy he doesn't fuck with.
It's like more, Eric or Jim?
Well, Jim's a goof, so he can't help himself.
Jim's a goof. Dude, Jim, he just called you a goof, buddy. Are you going to respond to that? I can't wait to react to your response on this show, okay? Let's go, dude.
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
Yeah, listen, Ariel, if there is one person I don't like in the wrestling business, and there is only one person I don't like, and it's Eric Bischoff. Eric and I are oil and water. We are complete opposites. We never got along. Eric made the decision from day one. I am going to be a dick to Vince Russo, and he has been a dick to Vince Russo. And quite frankly, out of everybody I've ever worked with, he is the only one that I can honestly say I do not like that guy.
Was that off the jump? Or in the early days of
off
you
the jump, like off the jump,
day one,
off the jump,
because
day one.
Do you think it was because you were enemies and now forced to work together? Do you like why do you think that was?
Come on, let's look at the facts. He's on this 83-week run. Vince McMahon brings in some Yahoo, Vince Russo, that nobody ever heard of. In a matter of time, the 83 weeks are over. The WWF is drumming WCW.
He's right.
Eric Bischoff is now out of a job, and I'm the one that they now bring in creatively at WCW. Bro, I get it.
No, he's right though. He's definitely right. Like Bischoff for surely. I think Bischoff said on a show though that his opinion on Vince Russo, although he's still like he's not very favorable of him, I think Bischoff said this, that he wouldn't have been on as harsh on him and he wouldn't hate him as much, because I think Bischoff said, let's be honest, like I had Hogan in my ear, like a lot of people, or no, maybe it was Vince Russo saying that Hogan was too harsh on him because he had people in his ear, like Bischoff hates him so much, and Bischoff's one of Hogan's best friends, but it was a lot of people who thought Vince Russo was a mark, bro. And I'm sure there were tons of whispers about it, as much as there were whispers of people saying like, nah, I like Vince Russo and whatnot. You know, Jeff Jarrett loved Vince Russo. He caused a fucking fallout. Everyone knows, you know, speaking to Jim Cornette, he's told those stories. And so obviously Vince does something to rub a lot of people the wrong way. And then he's in a position of power. So some people inevitably sort of suck up to him and kiss up to him, you know?
Totally get it. But my God, bro, for what is this, 1999? For the next 26 years to be spewing venom at me? Bro, I honestly, I'm going to be 65, Ariel. I think Eric's 70. Bro, you're 70 years old and still cutting promos on me? Come on, man. Let it go.
Yeah, but you're 65 cutting promos on Triple H and fucking calling them marks and all this shit. So it's like that's all anything is. It's crazy when people are like, oh my God, you do a show where you make fun of Dave, one guy. What is this? It's like, yeah, that's all any show is. It's just people reacting to people doing shit. Anytime you're watching a show, you're just a person reacting to people. Look at Dynamite right now. What's going on? You're a person watching people do shit to get a reaction from you and the people there who paid to react to them doing shit. That's all anything is. The news are news anchors reacting to people doing shit in the world. What is figure skating? Anything in the world. What is a cartoon? People drew some shit and you're just watching it and they're hoping to get a reaction out of you. You know what I mean? It's like, shut up. That's what you're doing too. Anyway, so this is what Vince Russo has to say about Jim Cornette in particular here.
Yeah. The number one question that I was asked when I mentioned to people that you were coming on, I don't know if you can guess this, is ask him about Jim Cornette. Ask him about the beef with Jim Cornette, the feud with Jim Cornette. What's going on between you and Jim Cornette? You are both killing it online. You have YouTube channels, you've got podcasts, you've got all this stuff, and yet it doesn't seem like you are the best of pals. What's the issue there?
It's a couple of things, Ariel. First of all, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I don't have any beef with Jim Cornette. Okay. I don't have any hatred for Jim Cornette. If I am going to be honest with you, and I'm a New Yorker, to me, Jim Cornette is a goof. To me, Jim Cornette has always been a goof. So a goof is not going to upset me. Here's what happened, Ariel.
So he is upset because he's calling him a goof. And I don't know, man. He's sort of drumming it up, but his whole like, I have no problem with Jim. That's him sort of he doesn't okay. In my mind, I think Jim, when it got taken to like Jim quote unquote threatening him, allegedly, this is what Vince Russo said or claimed. Didn't Jim get like a letter from a lawyer, or didn't some shit happen where I don't know, but Vince Russo thought he was threatened and he threatened my life and da. So this is all, again, I'm not going to wait on people's goddamn court cases here, but Vince Russo, it got taken to a level where Vince was like, yeah, Jimbo threatened me and my family and shit. So from then on, he's just played it like, I have no beef with him. I want nothing to do. He's a fucking goof, but I want nothing to do. No, there's nothing. He just hates me. I've never hated him. It's always his hatred towards me. and it's just sort of like absolving himself of any wrongdoing. And maybe there wasn't wrongdoing in his opinion, but you clearly do hate Jim, but you just don't want to seem like an aggressor at all because he took it to like a legal level. So he's like legal jargoning his way. Do you guys know what I'm saying? I'm sure chat will correct me on that too. Yeah, Jim spoke about that himself. Yeah, so didn't like Vince Russo really, didn't it get legal, or someone wrote an email to someone where it was like, you know, Vince thinks that you threatened his family and this and that? I'm just not sure if Vince Russo's trying to like do anything that he thinks could incriminate himself or something, or take it to that level, or yeah, it's a restraining order. That's what it was. Thank you in chat. A restraining order was put out on Jim Cornette. So you know what I mean? He's just like, I don't want no problems, but like he is a goof, but like this is a way of like goading Jim to talk about him, and then he stays more relevant. And it's a way to be like, but I have no problems. It's just a one-sided beef. It's a cop-out is what I'm getting at. It's a fucking cop-out, and it's because it got taken to restraining order level. Okay? Which is just like, come on, Vince Russo.
It's real easy, and it's twofold. Number one, how did the hatred start? It's real simple. Vince McMahon chose me over Jim Cornette. Years later, Dixie Carter chose me over Jim Cornette. Rather than Jim Cornette look himself in the mirror and say, wait a minute, why Russo? Why didn't they choose me? What do I need to work on? What do I need to improve on? Rather than him do that, it was my fault. It was my fault that they chose
my fault.
me over him. It had nothing to do with him. It was my fault. Now you add to that, I have become part of Jim Cornette's shtick. You know, his cult of Cornette, whatever it is, they expect Cornette to rip on every single thing I do and to cut promos on me and to call me a Yankee and a shit stain. He's made it part of,
so you've heard the videos
of his act. But I got to tell you, man, here's what Jim doesn't understand. And Jim, if you're listening, or somebody will smarten you up to this, please continue.
So he just, I have no problem with Jim, buries him. I have no problem with Jim. Grabs a fucking shovel.
You to do this. Of course, when it got out of me writing for GCW, Jim Cornette had a picnic. And I
GCW again. He keeps saying GCW. He doesn't even know where he works, but he's trying to convince everyone, oh, Violent J-Man, the smartest guy, and he's going to fucking we're going to turn this all around. He doesn't even know the name of the place he works for.
Saw 90,000 views or whatever it was. And listen, I publicly said, Jim, thank you. Thank you very, very much for letting people know I am now writing and working for JCW. I appreciate the press. I appreciate the publicity. And obviously we know with every show that I write, he's going to be the first one to rip it apart. Great. I hope you continue to do it. You got a great following. The more people you can let know about JCW, the better. But to be perfect.
So where do Vince Russo JCW shows air? We should fucking review them. I should review them on the show. Okay?
Perfectly clear area.
If one has already come out or is available, people get me this info and we'll review them. And Jim Cornette should do the goddamn same thing. He should review Vince Russo's JCW shows and give an honest critique. Just take a break off of AEW.
Do not have a hateful bone in my body whatsoever for Jim Cornette.
If you saw him in a hallway, in a hotel, a convention, whatever, you'd shake his hand and say hello?
Ariel, I have offered to have public debates.
Oh, that would be something.
Jim Cornette.
Has Vince Russo really done that? A public debate? We should see that one day. There's money in that, dude.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
But the problem is that Vince Russo's lying because he has a restraining order against Jim. So how is that supposed to happen?
Jim and Eric Bischoff, both of them. These guys will not get in front of me. Listen, man, this is the way I look at it. And again, I'm a New Yorker. If I think somebody is a liar and every word out of their mouth is a lie, and I can get them face to face and expose them, bro, I am going to be all over that. I am going to be all, but yet these guys have claimed for 25 years, every word out of my mouth is a lie. So I have said, no problem. Let's debate that.
But Vince, you have a restraining order against them.
I even said to Cornette, Jim, let's do it online. We'll have a debate. All the money goes to Cauliflower Alley. I don't want a penny. Give all the money. Nope. They refute. They'll talk about me behind my back. They'll cut promos behind my back. One-on-one in the same room. I'm still waiting for that to happen.
Once this restraining order is up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So when the restraining order comes up, I guess, yeah, you and Cornette will throw down in an epic blood sport debate. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news, a long one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So it is Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful for you guys, but we have WWE news to do. We will do the Sicko segment on Saturday, because it is a fucking brilliant one. There's lots going on there, but we have WWE news to get to, and some shit that Becky Lynch said. Not too terribly much, but yeah, I'm thankful for you guys and the PWT universe, man. So let's head over here to WWE news. And that Dynamite was so incredibly boring. Good thing I had a show prepared. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into WWE. So here's Roman Reigns talking with Javon Evans and them just cooling it back. Okay, it's just his music playing. All right, well, I would love to hear what they're saying, not just the music playing. But yeah, giving advice to the youngins. Stephanie McMahon says her oldest daughter, Aurora, once aspired to get into wrestling, but that changed after the events surrounding Vince McMahon. Oh, no. She's naturally gifted in the ring. Natty used to train her a long time ago, and then everything happened with my dad and the business, and I left. I think I don't realize necessarily the impact it had, especially on Aurora, but on all my kids. Aurora always saw a path forward through the business, and when everything happened, suddenly that wasn't there anymore. She had to shift her focus on what she thought she was going to do, and that happens in life anyway. You constantly change and all of that. Damn, so it just like crushed her wrestling dreams or what? Hopefully she gets back into it. Speaking of having your dreams crushed, here are dreams coming true. This is new WWE signing Cyrus Habibi Likio. And this is the moment, like an NFL draft moment, that he discovered he would be in WWE.
So we want to extend your contract to become a WWE superstar.
Well, the news is out. For those who don't know, I got invited to a WWE tryout a few months ago. By God's grace, I made the tryout and signed a 3-year contract. And for those who know me, y'all know I'm the king of side quests. We packed up our entire life on the West Coast, hopped on a plane, and moved all the way to Orlando, Florida. And the best part is, you know your boy documented the entire thing. Want to give a huge shout out to my wifey and kids for just always being down to move with me and do anything spontaneous that I want to do. We have been in Orlando, Florida for a few weeks now and are slowly getting settled. Moving across the country with an entire family and starting fresh has been a challenge, but we look at it more as a blessing. We shipped all of our necessities, but honestly started from scratch. We had to purchase new furniture, new cars, which I'm actually in the process of right now, and even all new home decor. But honestly, whatever's thrown at us, we know it's all part of God's plan and we'll always trust in our Lord and Savior. Please follow and stay tuned for more content.
No, Jimmy, come get.
So he's like this influencer dude. I don't know. What's his background? Did he play football or something like that? I'm curious. Either way. Speaking of recent signees, the latest signing, Igel Blanc, will now go by the name of Elio Lafleur, and he'll be making his AAA debut. So high hopes for this guy. He's under his mask. They did WWE-ify his name, but indie sickos are hyped for this guy. and European wrestling fans. So yeah, here they are coming soon. Megan Walker, Cyrus Habibi Likio, Jessica Mogdanov. Boom. There's your 3 newest NIL recruits. We talked about Stephanie McMahon, and she had an interview with AJ Lee here, and man, does Fanatics get testy with these fucking clips from their shows. But here's What's Your Story with Stephanie McMahon. Check this out. And here is AJ Lee talking
there
about
was
her
an incident on
controversial
Twitter
tweet to Stephanie McMahon where she buried Steph.
in which you had posted about
They address it.
equal pay.
Yeah, I think it was Patricia Arquette.
Patricia Arquette.
At one of the award shows had talked about equal pay.
Yes.
And I did a hashtag use your voice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was the trending hashtag or just what, but I amplified it.
Yeah. And then I retweeted it. And I said, wow, like while we're talking about use your voice, we don't get equal pay essentially.
Chat, use your voices, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit heart, hit retweet, all that good shit.
Yeah, we're bringing in more eyeballs than a lot of the men. And we don't have any time.
We can put it up here because it wasn't like
I don't even remember
pretty
what it
direct.
was.
I like that Stephanie McMahon doesn't shy away from this sort of shit on her show.
It was probably pretty feisty.
It was, but that's great. But so it says, because I'll read it since we were talking about how bad all of our vision is. Your female wrestlers have record-selling merchandise and have starred in some of the highest-rated segments of the show several times. Is that it? I thought there was more.
You go back up.
Oh, and yet they receive a fraction of the wages and screen time of the majority of the male roster. Hashtag use your voice.
Yeah. And that to me felt, I liked, in general, I'm fairly direct. I try not to be rude. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I have no filter, and so it's an excuse for being rude. But like, I think you can be direct, but very practical. And so I felt like it was coming from like a practical place, very direct, but I also was a bit like, I ain't got nothing to lose right now.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they were like, fuck WWE. The AJ Lee would be in AEW with CM Punk right now if shit didn't fucking, go the way it did with all that bullshit and Tony Khan fearing for his life and empty-headed fucking Hangman.
Well, and you were champ at the
And
time.
I was champ
so
at the
actually
time.
you did have a lot to lose.
But to me,
I mean, the courage
yeah.
that not only that, right, but the courage that it took to fight for what you believed
Right.
in. And, the fact that you really were a different character, than any type of stereotype. Like you came out of nowhere and the audience loved you from the start. I mean, they really did. They just connected with you in such a special and unique way. So, and I appreciate your directness. I'm a direct person as well. I'm sure some people think I'm rude.
Yeah, there's like lots of stories of people like, damn, Stephanie was like being a bitch to me once she got uncreative and stuff.
But I don't mean to be, like, to your point. I hate all the BS. Like,
Yes.
let's just have the conversation.
Yeah.
And I was actually very, it's funny because I was preparing for the interview and I was looking that up. That's how I knew what it was. And I read like all the backstage gossip about what happened. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even
Was
think I knew that
everything
at
wrong?
the time. Yeah. It's just so interesting because
Yeah.
people never really know.
Dave, you son of a bitch. Dave Meltzer making up fucking lies. Like he always fucking does, huh? Making up lies back then too, dummy.
Right.
No.
But I was actually happy that you posted that. I wasn't happy that it was directed at me because it wasn't anything I had direct control over. But I was really happy that you did because that movement, the whole women's evolution in WWE, it didn't happen because of executives or it didn't happen because, I mean, maybe along the way, people voicing their opinions, but it really happened because of the women who paved the way all the way back to the beginning of all of these incredible women who have been inside the squared circle, no matter what promotion they were in. But then for our audience, when they started the hashtag Give Divas a Chance at that time, that's what couldn't be ignored.
Yeah.
And the audience would never have gotten behind the movement if it weren't for people like you.
Thank you.
Who actually stood up.
Yeah, it's true. And now you watch WWE, and some people might say, oh, well, the ratings are the worst they've been, but they do the most women's wrestling, like out of any half their fucking show or more is women's wrestling. They end with women's wrestling in the main event segments and matches all the time now.
Up for women publicly. And I mean, like, take on the machine a little bit,
right?
You know,
Rage against the
It was a
machine.
big deal, I thought. You know,
I appreciate that, and I feel like change doesn't happen unless there's sacrifice, unless there's you have to be willing to lose everything to get what you want. And I feel like that in every aspect of life, like you playing it safe doesn't work. Playing it safe might give you a safe life,
right?
But I don't know if it gives you an exceptional life,
right?
And so I felt like that was worth it, whatever backlash was going to be. But I thought you were cool after, like, everyone was pretty chill and like, it was business, and I appreciated that. But you know, it was a rough time.
But yeah, I mean, and there was a lot of things happening
There was a lot
at that time.
yeah.
So I'm sure everyone could read into it however they wanted, but
Yeah.
it was so important.
Yeah, hell yeah. So on this same show, AJ Lee talked about how her and Punk got together.
Put him through a table. like we dated probably 2 years after our storyline, but our first kiss is on television, and then I put him through a table.
As one does.
Yes. Wrestling relationships. Yeah, I think we did, in NXT, he was one of the announcers, and when everyone else was like shit on us, he would be like, but AJ's cool. You know, like he was always like putting me over. And I think he just knew I like love wrestling, and so like when we did the storyline together, I
They're gonna cry talking about Punk, dude.
remember there was
Chick
like
Magnet Phil.
He was supposed to say something really mean to me in like one of the live one of the backstages that was like going on live, and it was live. So he didn't say the mean thing, and he like hit on me or something, like he wasn't supposed to. And I was like, that was so
You were like,
cool.
wait, that was
Yeah,
okay.
it was not in the script, but but he like took care of me, and I thought that was like really, really nice. And I think we just, I don't know. It sort of
It evolved.
Yeah, I think we were like friends first, dating other people, and then once we were both single at the same time, and I think a part of me was like, who knows? Let's try this out.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I blinked, and we were married in like 2 months or something like
Wow.
Yeah, guys know pretty quick.
But I do remember, like, when we were just friends, like zero romantic interest. We were talking like a restaurant one time, and he was saying something about like, you know, that he knows he's never getting married, and a weird voice in my head went, "You know, you're gonna marry me." And I was like,
Really?
I was like, bitch, shut, who was that? Gene? I was like, what? And then I like didn't talk to him for probably like a year. I was like,
Bitches are kooky, man.
That was yeah,
go through my head.
Bitches be crazy. Am I right, fellas?
no, because I never wanted to get
amazing,
married.
though.
No, I don't believe in marriage. I still would be like, don't get married to people. It works for us. I don't think it lasts forever. I think people grow. I think people grow.
So those are the only really interesting bits from that pod. Speaking of interesting bits here, at Raw, we talked about it earlier. Brock Lesnar had a nasty wipeout when he came out on the ramp. Look at this shit. He just slips. Boom. It's just how he plays it off. Like, you could laugh at Brock. It's like, yeah, that's funny. Whatever. He'll beat the fuck out of everybody. Like, it's like, whatever. He's still super rich and mega powerful. And if aliens came down, we'd pump him full of fucking super juice and send him to fight them. You know, like he's the man anyways. So the slip means nothing. All good, Brock. But I was laughing. I could not stop laughing when I saw that. So David Otunga, speaking of laughing, he's become a bit of a laughing stock on the YouTube or IWC sphere of pro wrestling, where a lot of people are shitting on his content. They're like, dude, he went to Harvard Law just to make a shitty YouTube channel or something, which it's like, oh, come on, that's not very fair to criticize him like that. But here is, I guess, a bit of a conspiracy theory or not even a conspiracy theory. He's just stating facts about when you buy a ticket to a WWE event, but it's spooky. You're signing a contract.
Did you know that when you buy a ticket to a WWE event, that you're essentially agreeing to a contract between you and WWE? The ticket you have is granting you what's called a revocable license. So you have a license to be there and attend this event, but it's revocable because at any time and for any reason, the event staff, WWE, they may revoke your license and remove you from the premises at any time. Now, this could be for things such as disorderly conduct, making, defamatory comments, something like that. But it also could be for nothing. Like you could have a sign that maybe has profanity on it. Okay, that's understandable. But what if you have a sign who's promoting a wrestler from a rival company? Because this happens every now and then. And those people somehow seemingly get their signs taken away, or they just get bounced altogether. And you may wonder, is this permissible? Yes, technically it is. Under the contract you signed, and then you might say, but I didn't sign a contract. Oh, no.
Who's your editor? David, hire me. Where's that lawyer money, dude? Let's punch this up. What the fuck? Who put this together?
You did.
This is like a fucking Kevin Samuels video.
Your ticket is the contract, because without that ticket, you do not have a license to be in the venue or to be present.
Damn, I don't know, man. That's cool. He's dropping knowledge, but again, it's like the Tony Khan thing. You could drop that on us in a way more exciting way. Speaking of exciting, AAA Worldwide arrives on Fox in 2026 for Mexico, Central and South America. And the WWE and Lucha Libre, Triple H says partnership continues to showcase the best of Lucha Libre and honor the history and legacy this incredible culture. And starting in 2026, our stars, our fans, and our industry get the incredible opportunity to partner with Somos Fox across Mexico, Central, and South America. Amazing. So, Conan, hats off to you. You're fucking proving him wrong. Dave Meltzer said, well, Conan and Eric Bischoff can prove Tony Khan wrong now. And they are. Look at the ratings and the ticket sales for RAF and AAA and the YouTube numbers and shit for AAA. That's all you got to look at. Here was Lil Yachty. Speaking of looking at, here's Lil Yachty, or as Dave Meltzer calls him, Cuervo, in the building. Lil Boat hanging with Shawn Michaels.
Are you from here? Okay, very nice. Good for you. We're there all the time. Like, all right. Well, look, anytime you want to come, man, just let us know. You're welcome anytime. That's awesome. Very nice. What I was going to say, Atlanta, farther south is always better. Yeah.
That's actually true. That's true. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Moving along here. So Asuka accidentally missed it a security guard and he sold it really well. We're looking at clips of Raw and SmackDown. So she like puts the thing in her mouth. It's back there. You can see her doing it. The fan cam. Security guard selling better than Will Ospreay, bruv. Selling better than Ospreay. Dude, how's he going to sell better than fucking Ospreay or Darby Allin or Moxley? Crazy. Speaking of crazy, Brody Lee Jr., we talked about him earlier. He revealed that he's not signed to AEW, but he signed a weird contract where he can sign to them when he's 18 and he can have a death match with Moxley or some bullshit. But even he understands what the big leagues are, and he says he's going to retire a current WWE champion one day.
Something that I will
something will happen where Cody will retire and I will be it. I will do my best to retire Cody Rhodes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I hope people clip this years from now and they start the little edits that they make with you saying this, and then next thing you know, it's just in video packages.
Yeah.
And with that, hey, I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna make a mental note. I want to see you retire Cody Rhodes.
There's some.
That would be crazy if it happened, man. All these wrestlers' fucking kids on the come up now. Speaking of on the come up, Randy Orton teamed up with IShowSpeed, and I forget what this is called, but they did some special. IShowSpeed did some special where he trained to wrestle and he actually like had a match, and Randy Orton was with him along the way. Let's take a look at some of this stuff. Shout out, it's called Speed Goes Pro. So I don't know, is this a TV show? Is this an internet show? I have no clue.
Don't move until I kick you. Oh, fuck. See, I like that cell. Oh.
Just get one right there.
Oh.
Stop. You're not gonna feel it.
Oh. Oh. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. We're taking the bump now. Oh. Taking the bump. Nice and easy. 1, 2. Oh my God. We're working. Oh, spread eagle. Oh,
Spread eagle, we're working. Spread eagle. So your instinct is to not let people do that to you, you know?
God!
Against your will.
Oh my. That's not a thing, but. Did I really get you? All right, come on. Stand up, stand up.
Damn, there you go, man. And he actually, here's another clip from that. He actually has a match with the guy Anthony Luke from LFG or whatever.
Come on.
Go and check out whatever this is, web series, TV show. I don't know. Just don't snipe me, Twitter. Pardon me, YouTube gods, YouTube overlords.
You got more personality than
and if it does, patreon.com/pro wrestle town.
Victoria, keep doing what you've been doing. You got this, baby. You got it.
He's hyping IShowSpeed up. Orton worked himself into this new role of like he's every streamer's best friend. I think IShowSpeed legit like broke some record for like running a certain distance or something recently. I think I saw a video of that.
Jesus Christ. Come here.
So yeah, he is very, very athletic, you know, much more athletic than like a dank ops, much more equipped to pro wrestle, I would say. But there's another clip where he actually wrestles against Anthony Luke a little bit. And yeah, it's called Speed Goes Pro. And this is just at the Performance Center here in front of like an LFG sized crowd. At least he's like learning the right way, you know? Fit Finley, he's popping Finley, dude.
He's only been doing this 2 days, but he's oozing charisma. So right away, just I was into who Speed is as a WWE character.
And that's Maxine Dupree's boyfriend that he's wrestling.
Hey, come here. You got more personality than everybody sitting there.
So here's him like hyping him up. We'll go back to this because this is where we
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I was gonna say you can't give him a win in his first match, brother. he gets like the selling everything, at least. Like, he's not just laying there taking moves, he's selling every single thing that the guy's doing, which is like a key part of it. And his facials are like kind of over dramatic, but he's selling, and that's, I mean, selling sells, man. I've said it a million times. See, it's just like all the NXT guys in the crowd, like Javon and fucking Shiloh Hill and everything.
I was worried he was going to maybe get a little nervous when I had all the fans in here, but
Lexus
I think that
King.
just motivated him. When he heard the fans, he even came alive more than I thought he would.
And this is where Vince Root, bro, wrestling's not cool, bro. This is like how, I mean, this is what's making it cool again. Are these fucking streamers? All these millions of kids love these fucking guys. It just exposes WWE to them. They could have done this with Big Boom AJ. Nope. Just puts them in a tag with QT Marks. And you know who they are. He's decent. He's got to slow the fuck down. Everything's just too fast, you know?
It's that time.
Yeah, hell yeah. You got to lose your first one. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Shout him out. We talked about Raw earlier. Penta shoot hurt himself, and during the commercial break on the international feed, it's a shoot injury. You could just, they handle it. That's, again, Seth's injury was fake. I called it because they just handled it way differently than Liv's, and they handled Liv's the same way they handled Penta's.
And no doubt about it here with Penta.
Just the Penta way, twisting and turning
So he just fucked his arm up. He was mad about it.
on that landing. It was an ugly landing on medical staff.
And good thing they, you know, well, unfortunate for this tournament, though, because like Sheamus got hurt as well. People are getting fucking injured. This main roster's banged up. God damn it, WWE. So speaking of banged up, here is the women. We're watching WWE stuff. Here is the women's version of the WrestleMania promo. Everyone was melting down. Oh, when are the women gonna get a promo? And like, there you go. The women are getting their own "We're in Vegas" promo. Who knows if they filmed those in a response to what people were saying about WWE and the men getting their own commercials, but either way, they're filming one for the women, so stop crying. Speaking of stop crying, tonight's event marks WWE's highest ticket distribution at the Paycom Center. So this was on Monday, and the second screenshot below shows every visit to the venue during that period. So from 2021 till now, they went from 4,000, 4,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 on Raw every time they go there. And people, you know, Dave Meltzer was just talking about the peak period's over, Brian. But this indicates the exact opposite. And it's so funny, Dave goes, the peak period's over, and then we're seeing WWE bounce back in the ratings. The ticket sales are nuts. It's just funny how all of this egg on his goddamn face. Speaking of egg on face, Timothy Chalamet is the next guest on Cody Rhodes's What Do You Want to Talk About? And that's not egg on face. I don't know why I used that it wasn't even a segue. It was just me copping out there, folks. It's getting late. But Cody Rhodes is going to have Timothy Chalamet on his pod. I mean, that is a pretty big fucking deal. So hopefully we get some juicy clips of Chalamet talking about himself marking out or whatever. Speaking of marking out, Seth Rollins explains that he hates WWE Unreal and the behind-the-scenes content. He says he hates it. He doesn't hate all of it. Some of it's fascinating and interesting, but there's some things that in our business, everybody knows what it is. Why remind me of it? Is basically the point. Maybe there's something there. Maybe that could happen. The unpredictability it creates, that's the magic. Why would you want to fucking chip away? So I respect Seth for having that take. Netflix just revealed that last week, the November 17 episode of Raw drew 3.1 million viewers, making it the highest rated Raw since the Raw After Mania. That was John Cena's final Raw. 3.1 million viewers. Again, Dave's talking about the peak is over. The peak is over, Brian. And then it just bounces right back because they're fucking clowns coping. We're going to cover it tomorrow. Dave Meltzer, Dumb Moment of the Week. ESPN President Burke Magnus says that WWE partnership has been great so far. Survivor Series will be a good measuring stick. And he says it's gone great so far. Obviously, we're very familiar with Nick Khan and the team over there. We've had engagement with them for years in much smaller ways, but they're fantastic to work with. We're looking forward to WrestleMania this year, which would be our first. We've had 2 PLEs to date. One of them was in the Middle East, so it was on and off hour. WrestlePalooza was new, and so Survivor Series this weekend actually will be a really good measuring stick for how it's going. Dave's going to lie and say it didn't do so good, even though the building fucking sold a bunch of tickets before they announced anything, and even though it'll be a huge success, he's going to spurg out about it. But in terms of interaction between the team at WWE and us, it's been great. It's just business jargon. And you look, SmackDown, though, they're set up for 5.6K tickets. They have 4K tickets sold. This is for December 12th, though. Still some time. They'll sell out the setup. But yeah, SmackDown just not doing as hot. Oh, well. And here's another SmackDown in February. They've sold only just under 4,000 tickets. They're set up for 7,000. So if people want to clown SmackDown and them tarping off sections, that's totally fine, I guess. But as far as Raw is concerned, those, it's not a WWE. All of AEW's like that. It's not like that in other companies. TNA just runs smaller shit, and WWE, their SmackDown shows like that, or NXT, but Raw's still stroking. And that's not to make excuses. I just think that SmackDown could be a stronger show. People are starting to realize that. The Netflix shows are just where they're at. They're bonkers, and they've been trying to make SmackDown a little more bonkers, which is good. And yeah, hopefully it just it bounces back or whatever. SmackDown, no matter what happens, though, they're going to keep their fingerprints on like USA or one of these fucking networks, right? So it just really doesn't matter at the end of the day because streaming is the fucking future. We all know that. And speaking of people being over and shit that we know for sure, okay? What's chat saying? So we had Triple H. He gives fans a special look, a rare look at Bray Wyatt's original lantern and shares the story behind how it was created.
Bray Wyatt, of course, the light.
Yeah, the original lantern, which for me is really cool because Bray and I worked together on that very first moment of that entrance. And, there's a moment in time where they were looking for him to, oh, we're going to have lasers and we're going to have all this stuff. He and I talked about it. I was like, does this feel right to you? And he's like, no, it doesn't. And I went back and talked to our guys and was like, look, this is the exact opposite. This guy's he's a cult leader from the swamps. Yeah. Like, he shouldn't have, as a backwoods guy, he should, what would scare me is him coming through the woods at night, carrying this lantern, and I can barely see his face and make out who he is. And that's how the concept came to be. Bray was like, I love that. And then we started riffing on it and how we could do it. And I can still pick.
So do you guys think Triple H is trying to take credit for some of Bray Wyatt's shit or what? I mean, people give him shit for being a mark for producing all these entrances and stuff. Would it shock you if this was really true?
After him, with Harper and Rowan behind him, with us trying to move the lantern to where we could see.
And this got developed in NXT, so he was,
his face and see them slightly enough to get them, but not see too much. And him being like, this thing's too fucking heavy. I can't hold my arm up this long. You know what I mean? And just all the bits and pieces that go into the creation of these, for me, make them even more special. But for fans,
They just cut it off before the fans part. You goddamn sickos. Okay, so we have like the major thing here. Becky Lynch. Okay, she dropped some fucking heat on Burnt Chrysler's fucking Something's Burning podcast or show where he sloppily cooks food, and oh man, there is some of the old episodes are just cringe worthy material. And people like Red Bar have dissected those and made fun of them. And Bert Kreischer's like trying to sell this thing. Whatever all these fucking LA comedians are trying to do now, just all these people in general, they're trying to make their podcasts so that they get picked up by Netflix now and shit like that. You know, they're trying to come up with ideas for shows that get picked up by networks. And I'm not even hating on that. I might even do that myself one day. But it's just so obvious. And Brett Cringe has tried to do this multiple times. Like, this show's looked different. I think it's been out of different kitchens. The format has been different like 3 times. And it's not a terrible idea. It's just Bart Crenshaw is just cringe, and like the masses, it's got to be a different host, I feel like, for this show. And there's better versions of this that like Alex Volkanovsky or like a fucking Gordon Ramsay even does sort of a version of this. Like, there's just better versions of like sit down with celebrities that I know and cook them food. You know what I mean? But either way, that aside, Becky Lynch had a few podcast appearances, and then she got into a bit of a mess here with Limitless Macy Estrella. What was her name? Lacey Evans. So Becky Lynch, she makes this wild comment here on this show.
Trying to, as the kids would say, riz you up.
They say riz you up.
Riz you up.
Yeah, well, the kids are saying it these days.
Riz you up.
Seth Rollins rizzed her up. Okay, listen to her response.
He did riz you up.
I think they're one letter off.
He riz you up. It sounds weird to say he seduced.
Jizzed you up. Damn.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
God damn, dude.
Wrestling's not fake.
You know what they say, chat.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
God damn. But this is another show where it's like your last meal. If you could have your last meal, what would it be? And then you tell this guy, he gets it for you, and then he interviews you. Brilliant concept. Way better than Barrett Kinsler's version of Something's Burning or whatever the fuck.
Now it's my next question. So now we got to skip. Now we got to skip it. Trying to, as the kids would say, riz you up.
She popped herself. That's solid shit. That's solid shit right there. Okay, so now we head over here to Brett Kirby's podcast, Something's Burning. And Becky Lynch says that, speaking of, sexual innuendos and jizzing, she said it, not me. There was a male talent in WWE. It's the sicko segment, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And I put a poll in the chat. Who do you guys think was this sicko? Okay. Was it Ryback? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Was it Vince McMahon?
Allegedly.
Was it, I forget the names I put in there. Was it CM Punk?
Allegedly.
Or was it, who the fuck did I put? I don't know, but it's all allegedly. And she doesn't name names, but people are out there guessing. They're like, is it Vince? I saw a couple other names floating around. I forget what they were. Chat will help me out, but let's see this poll and who's winning it right now. I guess we could end this poll and you can let us know in the comments below. Batista allegedly, CM Punk allegedly. So 40% say Ryback. I don't know. I just made that one up. I don't think Ryback. That was supposed to be a joke. You know what I mean? But it's interesting to see all the different theories arise, but she pretty much lays it out on Front Street. What happened
on the main roster, who was like, be careful.
The
Be careful.
culture of the Harvey Weinstein Company.
Because one, he'll try to sleep with you. If he sleeps with you, then he'll blacklist you.
Oh,
If
Cody
he-
Rhodes.
I
knew it. He slept with. Go ahead.
And if he and then
He was gone.
if he tries to sleep with you and you don't sleep with him, he'll also blacklist you. So there was this like line that you had to walk
Do I know
this
him?
tightrope. You know him definitely, but
Oh, you know him definitely.
there was this like line that you had to walk
Do I know
this
him?
tightrope.
So if you don't bang this guy, and it was on the main what was her words? Main roster? Did she? Yeah, on the main roster.
On the main roster, who
On the main roster. So some people are like, it's John Laurinaitis. Nope. It's fucking. You got to think when Becky, because he wasn't prominent on the main roster. He wasn't when Becky was first like on the main roster. We had just gotten over the Cena Laurinaitis stuff, like on TV and shit. Probably a few years removed, right? Like she would have been in NXT, I think, around that time. So someone on the main roster, do you think it would have been at that time? How much overlap did NXT have with main roster guys? I guess should be my question. Some people are saying Danielson or Edge. I don't know, man, but she's saying that you have to fuck this dude or he'll bury you. And if you don't, and if you do fuck him, he'll bury you after. Who could that have been?
it was like, be careful.
And she's like, you definitely know them, to this guy, Brett Crenshaw. So who could it be? Someone he knows. So it's like a wrestler. It's not like Johnny Ace. Kreischer wouldn't know who that is. You know?
Careful because one, he'll try to sleep with you. If he sleeps with you, then he'll blacklist you.
Oh,
If
Cody
he-
Rhodes.
And
I knew it. He slept with. Go ahead.
if he tries to sleep with you and you don't sleep with him, he'll also blacklist you. So there was this like line that you had to walk
Do I know
this
him?
tightrope. You know him definitely. But anyway, at one point,
Hey guys, hit it up in the comments.
at one point on the main roster.
I'm really curious as to who she's talking about. And he knows them. Allegedly. This is all allegedly from one Irish person. to
Allegedly.
another. It's all allegedly here, folks. But what isn't alleged is that, Becky Lynch will be in this Star Trek Starfleet Academy show, which will premiere in January on Paramount Plus. A lot of people are hyped for that. But then, Macy Estrella had some shit to say, because Becky Lynch said this: I started working with Lacey Evans right out the gate after WrestleMania 35. God bless her, but she wasn't, for me to go from the main event of WrestleMania to somebody who hadn't done anything was terrible. And then Lacey Evans goes, don't hate the player, hate the game. The only person who cried more than you was the baby I had on my hip while taking all the opportunities. Damn, saying she's a cry baby.
Emotional damage.
And she's like pointing out something that, some people called Becky Lynch a crybaby after her book came out. And she's like, when I met AJ Lee was like a bitch to me. And people said, Becky was being a bit of a crybaby in her book, whatever. Lacey Evans just throwing this out on Front Street and saying she had a baby at the time. She says, when I come back, you will still do nothing but gently shake my hand and say how cute my little family is backstage. Damn. And then this post got deleted. I don't know what this was, but I'm sure it was criticizing Lacey Evans. And she says, I legit learned that move in 2 minutes between homeschooling my kid and making my husband's plate. Something busted out on the indies Becky could never do. Busted it out on the indies Becky could never do. Fucking taking shots and saying she learned real jujitsu techniques. I think they posted like her actually fucking someone up or doing she was in a gym learning like rear naked chokes and shit. Her daughter does martial arts. She does as well. I think they train jujitsu and whatnot. And she's like, yeah, I learned that move in 2 minutes between homeschooling my kid and making my husband's plate. Something busted it out on the indies Becky could never do. Damn, going hard at
Sometimes
her,
in
man.
life, you got to be a hoe.
And I would just say that Lacey Evans would probably win a shoot fight, but in the end, Becky Lynch, when it comes down to pro wrestling, gonna go down in history as one of the greatest of all time for sure. Just funny to see them talking shit, and Big Time Bex didn't even respond to that. At least I don't think so, even though she was the one talking shit first. So if she just ignores that, it's like, damn, but maybe WWE's like, just don't get into that mess, you know, like maybe that's too messy for us. And yeah, I don't see any tweets like in response to that. So I think Becky just left it alone. Or she said, insecure me, I'm a lot of things. I'm history maker. No, she's not talking about she's like responding to like Adam Pearce and just staying in gimmick and shit. So Becky, a consummate profesh, you know, spitting some truth there, but not gonna like bury herself or get tangled up in some bullshit with Lacey OF models or whatever. Not to diminish anyone, but big time Beck's here, baby. And that was WWE news, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for PWT. What an amazing, a long show. We went almost 4 hours. Thank you guys for being here. Stay on the lookout for the Christmas special next month. This Saturday, Sicko Saturday. Tomorrow, Dave Meltzer, Dumb Moment of the Week goes on during the day. It'll go on during the afternoon. I have some shit I got to do tomorrow night. And so it's going on a little earlier. And I hope you guys all check it out and tune into that because it's such a fun show. And boy, are we going to go off on Dave tomorrow. It is going to be chef's kiss, magnifique. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, become a member. Appreciate you all. This has been an amazing show. Until next time, I will see you all in the upside down. Peace, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
I look and see it's not just me.
Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not. I look and see it's not just me.
Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense. But it makes
yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes, I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Wild. Yeah.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
God damn it.